Hello there, everyone. Welcome to episode 86 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Tyler. I'm your host this week. And of course, I'm joined by the man himself, Tyler, over here. How are you doing, dude? It's been a busy, kind of interesting, exciting news week of sorts, kind of, sort of. What's going on?
Elden Ring. No. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we got things to talk about after a couple of dry weeks.
Yeah, a couple dry weeks, but we still had fun with these weeks. You know, we had our God of War spoiler talk as well. We predicted Game Awards stuff another week, and now we're here to talk about the Game Awards 2022, or as you like to call them, the Keeleys, the Winter Keeleys. It is time to talk about the Winter Keeleys. It was a great show, I think. It was a great show. Cool announcements in there. Some expected award winners across the board, really. But I think a solid show overall. We'll dig into it in just a moment. You know, this is the Play to Win podcast show. We break down the week's biggest gaming news through in-depth discussion. Of course, this week we are going to be talking all about the Game Awards 2022. If you are on YouTube, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Helps out a whole lot. Helps out with the algorithm. It's very much appreciated. Also, subscribe on podcast services and leave that a 5-star review, letting us know what you think of the show and how much you enjoy it. Again, all that is very, very appreciated. All that preamble out the way. This week is Game Awards week. I keep saying that because it's nice to say Game Awards. It happened. It's done. And just the excitement from it. I keep saying it. And I just remember like, oh man, this announcement, just like how exciting it was to watch it all. What were your like overview, top level thoughts of Game Awards this year?
My top level thoughts were like just that, wow, there was more stuff I'm like excited for that was shown. We were talking pre-show, just like how I like wrote down the list of everything versus my list from last year, which was more summarized, but definitely the summary was only stuff I liked anyway. So it was vaguely interesting. So I think this one overall had more stuff I'm excited for. But I don't know. I was telling you also that my thoughts on the overall show are a little weird because it feels disingenuous as an awards show, but because it is not like its express goal is not what E3's is, the Summer Keeleys now, which is just like, hey, this is just glorified advertisement for 3 days straight. And it's like, okay, that's fine. That's what I want. We're getting vertical slices. We're getting stuff that like, you know, it's all flash or, you know, it's a lot of filler, not killer, but that's okay. That's fun. I like that stuff. Whereas this one's like, hey, let's try and celebrate art and everything. And it's like, but actually we're going to just Mountain Dew. Here's advertising. Just feels a little disingenuous. And I was talking about how I feel like it's just so bloated at 4 hours long runtime. And the pacing of the announcements to me is always kind of interesting and weird. And I just like, there's lulls for sure. And we'll get to it. Like I can just run through a brief like this is everything. And there's just like a 10 stretch where the only thing cool was Death Stranding 2 to me, you know? So there's stuff I'm super excited for. And like my excitement is for the games, whereas the show I'm like kind of iffy on.
Yeah, this year I thought it was like a great show. I thought it was the best the show has been in a very long time. And you know, part of that is because again, we can't ignore how COVID kind of threw a wrench in developers' plans and everything. So games that might have been announced last year weren't announced because they weren't ready for development, ready to be shown. So of course we can't discount that. And then this year was the second year it was back in person, but it felt more like, all right, this is actually a real live show. Like, you know, everyone's actually here. And as opposed to last year where it's like, we're live and we're kind of coming back. We're not fully back, but we're kind of coming back. So I think that added another level of energy to things on top of, you know, Jeff kind of taking in feedback as he always does each year, which, you know, to his credit, like as soon as the show is done, he's like, what did you guys like? Give us the feedback and everything. Let us know what we can improve. And you know, he always tries to take it into consideration and apply it the best he can, which, you know, I can never fault him for. And this year, it seemed like he really took those lessons to heart. So we didn't have The Rock on screen for 5 minutes talking about his Zoa energy drink as he promotes Black Adam and himself in Fortnite and all these other things. Like the celebrities that were there, they worked for what they were there for, which was to present an award, and that was really it. And all except for one, in my opinion, actually worked really well. Keegan Michael Key, we'll talk about you. That you're a funny guy, but that bit did not land at all.
I
But yeah,
always feel
overall,
bad
it
for
was a
the
good show.
celebrities. Like, I mean, I don't feel actually bad, but like, I don't envy that job. That's for sure. Because it's just like they're entertainers. It's what they do, but they're not. Their job isn't live entertainment. Um, and I think this compared to like the Oscars really highlights how bad the joke writing is. And
Mm-hmm.
like even with, and I don't know if it's like a top level thing because like Kyle Bossman, if you don't like, I mean, I know, and I know you don't, but this is more for the audience. If you don't watch Kyle Bossman's show, what are you doing? Go watch it. It is so funny, so well written. He understands things, and I know he's in that meeting room because he's one of Keely's guys. Like Keely loves him. Keely, that's 100% a me move. If I'm ever like rich or whatever, I'm just, and I own a game company, like media company. It's like do you want to work for me, Kyle Bossman? Here's a blank check. Make things like you are
I I
perfect at what you do.
I
Um,
loved the joke where Jessica Henwick came out. Well, again, we'll get to this later, but like she's like, "There's a murderer in here," and the camera immediately goes to people in the audience, and Kyle was the first one. He's just like, huh? I was just like, "Oh,
I,
that's a Kyle." Kyle wrote that one
so
right there. He
I
definitely
I
did.
actually have input. I think all the jokes were too lame for Kyle to write, but I think because he's in the writers' room. There's a lot of people. He's 100% the kind of person that volunteers. He goes, "Cut to me immediately." He's like even if he thinks a joke isn't funny, he knows how to make it funnier. And so I thought the joke was kind of lame, but the fact that it cuts to Kyle and Kyle knows he has just kind of a face that lends itself to like that's the serial killer, I think is great self awareness, a very on brand Kyle thing. And I was like, because I saw your tweet about that, and I was like, I don't think he wrote it, but I do think he absolutely volunteered to like, yeah, just cut to my face. It's fine.
Yeah, like he
Because
was
he also knows
definitely
like I get some screen time that way too. Also, and
yeah, he was. I like whatever in one way, shape, or form. He was in on that, on like in on the
yeah,
creative aspect of that joke right there. It just screamed him. I was like, that's I like it. I like that one.
I figured he was there too because he's been part of almost all this stuff. He was like opening night live. He went out to Germany and he talked about that a little bit in one of his episodes. Just like it was very like he went there, just there, and then left. But so I figured he was there. But like obviously, once it cut to him, I was like, oh, he is definitely there.
Oh man. All right, enough of our top level thoughts. Let's actually start getting into the show. What we got from it. We're gonna start with the opening act, aka the pre-show. This is here where you get some smaller announcements, some lower stakes, I guess, awards or lower key awards are revealed here. We'll go through this one pretty quickly. Again, unless Tyler, if you have anything that you really want to talk about and jump in on, by all means, let me know. We'll stick on it for a little bit as long as you need to. First up, Dead Cells getting a Castlevania crossover called Return to Castlevania. You're gonna have Richter in there. You're gonna have Alucard. You're gonna have Dracula in there. It was a cinematic trailer. There was no gameplay, but it's coming next year, Q1 2023. I've not played Dead Cells, but I know people really like that game. So like when this popped up and Castlevania popped up, people were like, "Oh!" Like in the audience, you hear people like, "Yeah, it's happening." That seemed pretty cool to me. I don't have much to say about it though.
Same, yeah. I'm not a Dead Cells person just because I've never played it, but looks cool. Good for people that like Castlevania because they got nothing lately, and good for people that like Dead Cells. Nice that they both get a bone.
Right. Then we got best mobile game was Marvel Snap, winner of that one as expected. And it's crazy how the game came out like what 2 months ago when it's already best mobile game ever. Yeah, here you go. You guys get the award. Good for them. Vampire Survivors, which has been a huge viral hit, like kind of out of nowhere, in my opinion. That's on mobile now for free, which is awesome. So maybe now I'll actually play it sometime soon. And then we have Valiant Hearts coming home. That's going to be on mobile via Netflix, it seems like. Returnal,
Travesty.
what,
I just want to say
travesty.
travesty. First game, legit good. If you're bored and you want like a game that doesn't really require a ton of gameplay, go play it. It's legit good. Relatively easy plat that I missed out on, but like travesty, that we're not just getting it thrown on PS5 or Xbox, whatever.
Maybe this is a sign that it'll happen in the future, though. I mean, I completely forgot about Valiant
God,
Hearts
but you
until
have
this
to assume
happened.
Netflix has some bullshit like 2 year exclusive contract or something.
Maybe they do. Returnal that officially got announced to be coming to PC after months and months of rumors, but hey, if you haven't played Returnal yet, you're gonna enjoy this game. It's so good, such an amazing game. Can't wait to
Good
see
for the
like the
PC
mods.
dorks.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the mods that the PC people create for it. Like, all right, we're gonna have Elmo running through a Atropos, just like going after the aliens or something. They'll make something crazy like that. Then we had best fighting game, which was multiverses, which no surprise there. We both kind of predicted that would happen.
Yeah, I think it was like I said it was that or DNF Duel, and
Oh
sure
yeah, and then
enough,
I said DNF Duel just to be different or something like that. Just like, oh, why not? Let's see if something else gets it. But not a surprise that multiverses ended up winning this award. What was a surprise actually, Hellboy, Web of Word or Weird. Not sure if it's a third person action game because the trailer was real like cinematic framing and all like that, and like you get what seemed like it was maybe gameplay or representative of gameplay. Not sure what type of style game this is, but we see Hellboy fighting what I believe looks like a werewolf or some type of wolf-esque creature, some weird looking creepy creature. And it's Hellboy like from the comics, the comic design Hellboy, comic art style for this game here. All we know is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. I don't believe there was a date on that trailer. But I
no,
thought it
there
was like,
wasn't to my
oh,
knowledge.
this is interesting. This seems like it could be something cool.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm
Like
not
you,
even like I've never read the comics or anything, but I do like Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy. Um, there was small redeemable bits and the David Harbour film. Not a lot, small ones, and yeah, I'm in.
yeah, I think I need to know more about it before I'm in. But like, I love how they are like sticking to the comic art style and really applying that. Like, nope, this is gonna be what we're doing and being faithful to that. So I was like,
Just
okay,
makes
cool.
sense.
Right, it just does. Then we got another brief trailer for Horizon Call of the Mountain, just showing a bit more gameplay, some more environments, nothing too crazy. Came from that, more confirmation. February 22nd, 2023, same day as PSVR 2's launch. Then we got two interesting, really cool trailers back to back for new games. The first of which is Post
Yeah.
Trauma, coming from Raw Fury. This is a survival horror type of adventure game, very similar in vibe to like Silent Hill. Like they have very fixed camera angles and all like that. It's set in
Hey,
like
is it
subways and subway
fixed
tunnels.
camera? I think that might have just been the angle of the trailer, but
No,
my
it's
girlfriend actually watched some of this too, because I was watching the pre-show with her. But I think we got the vibe here. Close your eyes if you haven't seen this trailer. It is kind of got the art style. Hear me out a little bit. Like technically, it looks like Sifu.
kind of
It's
sort of. I
got
see it.
it's got the like monstrous kind of like all of the creepy things you're seeing have a clicker Last of Us vibe, and then it's got like vague, you can't place the time period, sci-fi vibes, but it all is creepy.
Yeah, it's just really ominous and
And
creepy.
I
Like I
am here for it. It looks so cool.
yeah, like I don't know if I'll play this game, but I was like,
I'll play
I
it.
really like this. I was really into the aesthetic, the tone that it was going for, and all like that. Like it seems really awesome, and like I couldn't get that shot out of my head where he's like walking down the hallway and like you see what appears to be like bodies of some sort like sticking out the wall and everything. Like it was just like, oh, this is so weird and creepy, but super cool. I'm like really into this right now, but I don't know if I'll ever play
As
it.
long as this game will know they've done a bad job marketing is somehow I don't know that it releases. Like because I'm like I'm 100% in. So like if I don't see a trailer, the algorithms have failed me. Like another trailer for the release date, either the algorithms have failed me or like the developer did a really bad job putting like press out there. I hope this is something we see like Summer Games Fest, so that way I get an official date and I can go, okay, remember that, and then it'll be on a calendar and I'll pop it, like it'll pop and I'll be like, oh, also please developer, don't release between 8 other big games. Like
can we please, if we're gonna any more games get announced, release after June of 2023, not before June of 2023, because right now the
oh
first
yeah,
half of 2023 is ridiculously stacked. Like that's gonna
I
be
don't think they're
another
coming first
episode.
half. My worry would be like they release November, like the Entropy Center, just like, and I'm forced to be like, oh, let me make time for this damn game.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. Seems cool though. Seems very very cool.
As does
This
Viewfinder.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say. The second back to back when we got here that seems really awesome is Viewfinder. This is a puzzle game that plays with perspective and photos in order to get around the environment. So like in the trailer, we see the player pick up like a Polaroid camera and then look through the viewfinder. And sometimes they took a picture, but sometimes they just looked through the viewfinder. And then what they saw gave them like another path to explore and move through the world and everything like that. It seemed really cool and really creative and interesting. And I'm super into this one.
Yeah, it looks it looks really cool, and also like you're going to, if you hate puzzles but like if you enjoy them but hate how they make you feel, like you might break a couple controllers or want to, this is a game I'll probably play and not finish, just full stop, because it's like I'm gonna get mad, and it's like, all right, do I look up the YouTube walkthrough or do I just call it quits? And I'll probably just call it quits. So
Yeah, I would hope that you'd stick with it. If you enjoyed it enough, I would hope that you stick with it. It reminded me kind of sort of Maquette from to a certain extent in terms of like how Maquette played with size and perspective, kind of sort of. And I guess Superliminal, which I haven't played yet, but I know Superliminal really plays with perspective in terms of its puzzles and everything. So Superliminal was a game I was super into, just haven't gotten around to playing it. Viewfinder just checks the boxes for me. Cool aesthetic, cool idea, interesting premise. I'm in. Creative over here, cool. And that's coming to PS5, but there wasn't a date on that trailer, so I'm not sure when it's coming. Just know it's coming to PS5 at some point. Cool one though. Then we got Among Us getting a hide and seek mode. Cool. That's already out as of
I will
today.
say, I think you skipped over quick. Just want to shout out. I thought Scars Above looked good. I
What
thought
was Scars Above again? I forgot that one.
So Scars Above kind of had mini Returnal vibes to it. Like I pulled it up just to remind myself a little bit of like, yeah, I thought this looked cool, right? And it does. It's got kind of like, it's got like more desert, like tactical real world feel than how just like than how whatchamacallit Returnal got, which was like super. Returnal was super sci-fi meets Lovecraft, versus this is like a little bit more feels like realistic environments, but definitely the enemy design. You've got like a mix of like Souls and Returnal, kind of like just like horrors beyond man-made horrors beyond your imagination. Definitely got kind of that vibe. Even like the way they have her wake up in the trailer, or I'm looking at one from 3 months ago, and they have her wake up very similar to Elise in Returnal. So,
Celine.
Yeah, looks cool. Mini, like, I mean, who knows if it's good, but like, I thought it was cool enough that it was something I like remembered specifically. And when I was going through my breakdown, like, oh yeah, that game looked cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. It might have been one of the ad break type of commercial ones. And whenever those came up, I was like, all right, head down. Let me make sure I have like my notes here. If it was a world premiere, then I just completely forgot about it somehow, some way. Happy you called it out though. See, that's why great. It's great to have two sets of lists here. That way, if someone misses one thing, someone else has it to the backup. After Us was another really cool, interesting game here in the pre-show. This is coming from Piccolo Studio and Private Division, where I'm going to read the YouTube description because the trailer was really kind of abstract in terms of like what the game actually was. So the YouTube description has a better like explanation saying you play as Gaia, the spirit of life, and navigate stunning platforming environments in an abstract world to salvage the souls of extinct animals. Revive these creatures after learning their final fate, the last whale harpooned, the final eagle caged, the last deer hunted down, and more, while you survive encounters with dangerous, oil-covered devourers that roam the wasteland in search of remaining life. Coming out spring 2023 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This gave me kind of sort of Journey vibes.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up because I was like, which one is this? And I was like, oh yeah, because to better summarize it, ghost, wiener, dog. Ghost, wiener, dog.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I like
it looks
premise
cool.
And the gameplay and everything. It seems neat.
This was 100% of all the ones shown in the pre-show my girlfriend's favorite. Like, that looks cool. And I was like, it does look cool. I was like, I also would like to play that.
Yeah, I want to play that one. I definitely want to keep my eye on it. Hopefully, when it comes out, there is time. It's not like just jam packed.
The spring thing makes me seem like they're gonna put this between like two other big budget games, and we're all just gonna be like, Ah!
I'm hoping when they say spring, they mean April and not May. Because May, if you put it out in May, you're going to die. Breath of the Wild comes out in the middle of May. You either got to be before Breath of the Wild or in April. Don't do May. For the love of God. I said Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom. It has an actual name now. I forgot about that.
It's fine. It's gonna be BOTW2
For the longest
forever.
time. Replaced. This one finally showed back up. This is the pixel art indie cyberpunk esque type of game that we first saw.
It looks like Blade Runner
Um,
and pixel art. Yeah.
yeah, we first saw this game what last year or the year before at an Xbox show, and now it showed back up again here at Game Awards. This trailer really just was more of like a hey, this is what the world is like. Like, didn't really do much for story or gameplay, it's showing different environments and everything, and it's still hitting my high. I was like, this looks awesome. This looks awesome. I want to play it. I like this.
This is the one that actually sold me. I'll be real.
This one sold me more too.
Because it was like, yeah, it was too pixel arty. I'll be real. If like previously, and this one, seeing some of those nice environments, I got the trailer pulled up now, seeing some of the nice environments and just like aesthetically, I feel like I'm not going crazy, and they did just put in a lot of work because I don't feel like it looked this good. And what they showed off definitely didn't look this good, just like again, pure aesthetic wise. And I think this looks really good. And so this was like, oh yeah, that's that game. That actually does look really good. And these all have the caveat of I'll play them depending on what else is coming out.
I believe this is a Game Pass game, so that will hopefully like bump it up in terms of like, okay, I could definitely make. I don't have to worry about the financial aspect of it. It's just the time aspect of it.
I don't have Game Pass by default. I'm signing back up this week just to play High on Life. So
well, maybe you'll sign back up for that. Maybe you will. Who knows?
maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Then we got Best Family Game. Went to Kirby, as it should. Kirby deserved that award 100%. Congratulations, Kirby. And then pre-show, the opening act wrapped up with Street Fighter 6. We got some more gameplay for the World Tour mode, which is, essentially your single player going to each of the areas type thing, make your own character. I wrote down here you could call in another character to assist you in fights, but I saw some people saying online, no, that it's actually you're able to do co-op in some of these World Tour things. Who knows? But it was cool. It seemed pretty neat. We saw a bunch of other mini games you could play. And then they confirmed 4 other characters, those being DJ, Manon, Marisa, and JP. DJ is the only one I know is a returning character. The other 3 may be new. They may be returning. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. But the release date was also officially announced after being leaked like the day before. It's June 2nd, 2023. You can pre-order it now. I'm not a Street Fighter person, really. I like the series, but I'm not really a fighting game person anyway. I really think I'm going to buy this game. Like every time they show this, it just impresses me more and more and more. And I really think I'm going to get this one.
Depending on what's out, I might give it a shot. It is the token good game during E3 that comes out.
Yeah, because it comes out like at the beginning of June, I might not get it because Final Fantasy 16 is the end of June. So it's like, hey, you might be a later in the year type thing. But I do want to play this game because it's looking awesome. Continues to impress me.
No, it's spread out enough. If I have the money, I'll buy it. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, because like it's E3. That's the real thing for me. Is like how busy will I be? How etc.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's the fact that Suicide Squad comes out like a week before this. So it's like of the 2,
does it? Okay, yeah.
One,
See,
if I'm to play one,
I put the release down,
Squad.
but I just in my head I'm not mapping out the calendar. Oh yeah. That might bone it because obviously Suicide Squad takes precedent. No offense, Street Fighter, you get it.
Yeah, like of the 2 of them, Suicide Squad is the one I would be more likely to play than Street Fighter. So it's like it'll get bumped, but I do want to play this game. And that was just the opening act, which I think was a solid opening act, a good pre-show. Like it wasn't. Although yes, this is where the smaller announcements were. They weren't throwaway smaller announcements that we've gotten in past pre-shows. You know what I mean? We're just like,
no, not at all.
Okay, I think whatever.
They're all really good.
Yeah, like it was a good. Okay, here's our way into the show. We got some good stuff here. I wonder what the main show has in store for us. And I don't think the main show disappointed. By and large, I don't think it did.
I think the main show opened with the heat and then proceeded to have a lot of stuff that I could care less about.
Fair.
But man, top first 2 announcements, my announcements of the show probably.
Yeah. So before we get to those first two announcements, the very first award was given for the night for the show right off the top, best performance, which was presented by Al Pacino. Wasn't expecting him, and this is the case where celebrity comes out, and I was just like, "You are very clearly lost, sir." But you know what? It's kind of charming and endearing that you are leaning into the fact that hey, it's weird as hell that I'm here, but I'm here. We're doing this. Like it was really endearing. And that award went to Christopher Judge, Kratos from God of War. Really awesome moment. Al Pacino's walking off, and Chris is just like, "No, no, come here, give me a hug. You just gave me this award." And then Christopher Judge went on to give an 8-minute speech. I think it was very lengthy, and I loved the man. After a bit, though, I was like, "Where is this going?" Because this is kind of like it was a good speech. I did not. I was just like, "This is going all along." I'm surprised no one has told you to get off the stage yet. At a certain point,
If you're like me, if you're working and just kind of like looking back and forth, it was great because then you're just seeing everyone on Twitter have a meltdown about it, and you're just like, listen, man, I haven't been paying attention to the last 5 minutes because I knew a speech was going on. It was like great filler because you're just like, you don't want to miss the good stuff. So you're like, okay, cool. Speech is still going on. Sitting here
I can
working.
do my work right now. I can
Yeah.
actually do work for a few minutes. Yeah, good speech though. Happy he won. He deserved it. But then we get arguably the two biggest announcements of the entire night. Arguably the two biggest ones. First up, Hades 2, a
Let's
sequel.
fucking go.
Super Giants make it a sequel. First time ever they're doing this. The trailer, it's a cinematic trailer, also with some gameplay as well. You're playing as a female character. I believe they released the name. I just didn't get the chance to write the name down. Um, and
I didn't see
she,
the name. I was too busy being excited.
yeah, they said the name afterwards, like when they put out the key art and everything. So don't have it off the top of my head. Can you actually pull it up? I'm sure you could be able to like Hades 2 playable character.
Yeah.
Um, and it seems like her mission is she's going off to kill Kronos, who I believe is the god of time or and a titan as well. She's going off to kill Kronos. That's her mission.
uh, I will butcher this pronunciation, but Melano. It's got the little
Melione, I think, is what it is.
yeah, it's got the little double dot over the E. The princess of the underworld, an immortal witch and sorceress with powerful magical abilities, deadly skill with a variety of shadowy weapons, and a score to settle.
Yeah, it seems cool at first because I've not played Hades, but for the first bit of the trailer, you don't see her face. So I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, is this gonna be like Zagreus's daughter or something like that? What are they doing here? And no, it's not the case at all. But the Hades 2 is being developed in early access. News on it will be coming next year. That is all we know as of right now. Nothing more than that. You,
It's
Tyler,
Zagreus' sister.
Zagreus' sister. That's who she is in this game.
Yep.
Um, so Tyler, you played the first Hades. You loved the first Hades.
Yes,
Where
I
are you
did.
for Hades 2?
Let's go. I'm not a big early access person because I'm not, as mentioned, a PC dork. So who knows? Like I played it on Switch because that's all it was out on, other than PC when it came out. I do own a physical copy for PS5. Because it was like once I beat it digitally on Switch when the physical version wasn't out, it was like, okay, I beat it, cool, love it. And then it was like physical for Switch was out for a little bit, but then I think we knew that it was coming out for the other one, so I was like, I'll wait and get a physical copy for those.
Yeah.
Haven't beat it on 5 because I was playing like other stuff too. But I just wanted to like give them more money and add it to my collection because I love the game so much. So yeah, 100% in. This is one of those super excited, but also like throw it in the mental crock pot, let it cook. It's gonna take a while because of the whole early access. We're probably not getting this bad boy for like 2 years. That's okay. That's okay. 2024 at the earliest, maybe like early 2025. Let it cook, but I can't wait. I love Hades.
Yeah, as someone who has not played the first Hades, but has wanted to for a very long time, I saw this trailer and I said, I am going to have to play the first one very soon now because the second one's coming. And I want to play the second one. So I definitely am going to be playing the first one. But this one seemed, just looking at the gameplay, just my outside looking in perspective, it seemed like more of the first one. It didn't seem like the gameplay, from what we saw at the very least,
Yeah.
was seeming too different from what the first one did. And I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if you have a
It's
formula that works and if you know it's like it's really solid and refined, don't fix what ain't broke. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be new things that they add to the game and stuff, but it seems like gameplay wise, it's going to be same as before. That's fine with you too.
yeah, that's 100% what it is from what they showed. Anyways, what they showed was definitely not something new. Unless like some people are out here like zooming in on every pixel, but um, I they're not encouraging it the same way Kojima was for his trailer. Uh, but yeah, like I think it's just gonna be more Hades, and I think everyone that played Hades is like hell yeah.
Awesome game right here. An amazing way to kick off the show. Even better, following up on that, we got a new announcement here in the form of Judas from Ghost Story. Who is Ghost Story? Well, that is Ken Levine's new team. Who is Ken Levine? The creator of Bioshock. And Judas here is very much giving Bioshock in space. That is basically the vibe I got from this. And that's not a bad thing at all in my book. I really loved Bioshock. I enjoy Bioshock Infinite. I am down for more of that. This looks super cool.
Yeah, I think it looks it looks really good. I think we could get it maybe like I don't think it's potentially as far off as the trailer may have indicated. And the reason my reasoning for that is visually it didn't look like, oh my God. Like you can tell made by a studio that maybe doesn't have all of the AAA bells and whistles, but like knows what they're doing. So it still looks good. It's still not like, oh, this is
Mhm.
clearly some indie game, but it's like you would be let down if that was like the visual fidelity of a PS5, like Sony first party title or a Microsoft first party title. So I think visually, that's a good thing. Like what's the point if you're not one of those studios and you don't have those kind of resources? Why waste time on that when you can just get the game out quicker? So my actual take is I think late 2023 would not be out of the realm, but probably like
Same.
March 2024 would be my guess. If like you put a gun to my head and you're like, get it right,
No, yeah,
I would
I
that would be my guess, especially because I believe Bioshock Infinite was like March or April. So I
around
wouldn't be
there.
surprised if like they have a similar kind of goal with that. Or maybe they go because I know Bioshock 1 was like October 07 or November 07. So I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if it's late 2023 and they were only willing to give Keeley like a small slice, then we get like a big trailer with some game with a lot of gameplay and a release date. Boom, summer during whatever conference in summer of 23.
Yeah, I feel like you're right on the money about this, that it seems like it's closer than some might imagine it to be, because the game itself has been in development for quite a while. So I could easily see
Yeah,
it
and that's the
being
other thing. We heard about this forever ago.
right. So like I could easily see this being like a late 2023 game at the earliest, or like a Q1, Q2 2024 game. Our main character, she's this blonde woman in space, and the tagline is "Fix what you broke." And they kind of imply that there are different people that are like on this spaceship with you that you have to like either form alliances with or work against in order to fix whatever problem you cause here in space. And like from character design to world design to literally the gameplay of you have a power on your hand and a gun in your other hand. Like it seems like we're doing Bioshock again, just in a different setting entirely. And I have no problem with that. Like I've been waiting for a new Bioshock for a very long time. It's been rumored that actually, no, I think 2K already confirmed that a new Bioshock
They're
is
doing
in
another
development.
Bioshock. Yeah.
We just haven't heard about it. We haven't seen anything from it. And it's funny how Ken Levine is like, I'm getting there first, guys. I'm getting the one to be able to say, here's Bioshock's spiritual successor.
Yeah. Hopefully it's you know, better than Callisto Protocol compared to Dead Space. Hopefully they don't run into that issue.
I saw
Who
someone
knows?
online
But
saying something similar, like, huh, we just had a similar situation here with Callisto with Dead Space. Hopefully this works out better than that did.
I do think the difference here is I think Judas like there's no way to know quality, but I think Judas is way closer to being done than Bioshock 2K's Bioshock.
Yeah.
The 2K Bioshock thing, I don't know. It had heavy like that wasn't super long ago, and it had heavy like it's just now starting vibes. Who knows? But I
Yeah.
would say that's probably more whatever. I don't know how close you consider us to mid-gen, but I would consider it like probably 2 years away would be my guess with the Bioshock 2K game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I could see us like seeing it for the first time next year and then like not getting it till 2024 at the
Late,
absolute
yeah,
earliest, at the absolute earliest, but 2025 seeming very realistic. But no,
yeah.
Judas itself, that looks amazing. That looks awesome. That was again
Top two
right.
announcements for me. That's
That and Hades, two ones that I never would have expected, never would have predicted. I was just like, whoa, what a way to start the main show. And I
all
feel
down here.
like
It's all downhill from here, folks.
I don't believe that. There are downhill points for sure, but I don't believe it's
There's a
all
couple good
downhill.
ones about to come up here for sure. Like we get a little like our next one. I'm looking at my list. So I don't know if your breakdown you're gonna go to an award, but the next game announced was definitely a little weird.
So yeah, the next one was Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, which it's a spin-off prequel of sorts for Bayonetta. That's a prequel to seemingly everything. It's about Bayonetta when as a kid, her actual name is Cereza, and she's in a forest of some sort, and it's a top-down platformer. It's not even an action game. It's like a top-down platformer. You play as her as a kid in a forest. It's coming out March 17th, 2023 for Switch. This is one of those where like I'm sure Bayonetta fans are maybe like in or out on it, depending on how heavily invested they are in the series. But as someone who would just like, I like the series, I play it if I have, if I feel like it, I would just like, this is interesting, but I'm not playing this at all. This is very
Yeah,
left field.
yeah, definitely. I don't think anything looks bad about it. Like it looks fine. It looks like it could be fun. But man, especially releasing within like I don't know about that week specifically. Oh, yep.
That's the
Yep,
same day
Jedi
as
Survivor. Yeah.
yep.
No. Um
Sorry.
just it's not happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
an odd one.
looks like it could be fun. I'm sure there will be people that enjoy it. And it's like I said, doesn't look bad. I'm sure there are people's for, but definitely was one of the most like, announcements of the game or of
Yeah.
the show.
Right, right. I saw someone online on Twitter tweeted something along the lines of, "I bet Helena Taylor's punching the air right now." Just like, what do you mean a Bayonetta spinoff? What do you mean it's a prequel? How could you? Ah, man. After that, though, we got Best Debut Indie Award presented by Jessica Henwick, Daniel Craig, and Ryan Johnson from Knives Out. And the reason they were all here, Among Us is going to get some type of Knives Out reference, some type of skin or whatever in the game. This is also when we got the Kyle Bossman joke. Reggie was part of the joke as well. I think someone else was part of the joke of like someone's a murderer. But the winner for Best Debut Indie was Stray, which expected, I guess. I don't. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna fight against it, but I mean,
So the like weird. Why did they split up indies? Because it was best debut indie and then best indie, right? And
best
then
debut indie and then best independent game.
yeah,
So,
which was dumb as hell because Cult of the Lamb should have been in both, really. Like,
well,
and it wasn't.
Was Cult of the Lamb the first game by whatever studio made it?
I believe so because I'm pretty sure I looked up their studio, although I could be off about that one.
Right, like that's the difference. Like this is like this best debut indie, like their first big game, their first breakthrough game. Whereas best independent game is just best indie game period that released in the past year.
I'm just double
Um,
checking.
yeah, sure. But no, yeah, this was I guess I was just like, huh, okay. I mean, of the games that were there, I think Stray was nominated, Tunic might have been nominated, I think. There were a couple other nominees, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not all that surprised that Stray won it. Everyone loved the cat stuff.
No, that it was not their first game, so that would be why.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Stray won. I'm not gonna fight it. It's fine. Is what it is. Um, Destiny 2 Lightfall. We got a cool little gameplay trailer for that. Again, I'm excited for
Speaking of
Lightfall.
things nobody's gonna play, I'm just kidding.
What I'm like? What do you mean I'm gonna play it? I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna be there day one playing Destiny 2.
Oh man, talk about things I could not care less about.
Yeah,
Sorry for the four Destiny 2 people out there. No, I know it's massive, but that's 100% one of those things where you're just like, there's a whole world of people out there that I don't like, could never even remotely think about. I like when I hear Destiny 2 is still a thing, I'm like, man, y'all really like that same gunplay, like thrown
it's
on
so
an
good.
MMO
It's
loop.
good.
I'm not, it's tight gunplay. feels good, but it's because it's such a massive time sink too. Like,
Yeah, I
I
get
don't
it.
know. I don't view it the same way I view like Fortnite, which is like, okay, it's an ongoing game. I've been playing Fortnite for years, but it's like Fortnite you can just throw on, play casually, whatever. Destiny 2, it's always like so intense. And so like those people are so committed. Whereas I'm just like,
And like there's a
podcast game for a
story.
few hours, get some skins, fucking peace out.
Right. And like Destiny 2, there's also like it's the ongoing story of everything like that. Where Fortnite,
It's just
yeah,
too,
there's a story, but like it's so
who gives a
like
shit? Yeah.
it's like so in the rearview mirror that like unless you're like a Fortnite diehard who really cares
And
about the
those people
ins
are
and
dorks
outs.
too. I'll call them out for what they are.
Right. Unless you really are the ins and outs of the, of all the Fortnite lore and everything, like the story does not matter one bit there. So I get it entirely. Like I fell off Destiny 2 in
I
2018
didn't
after
play, to be fair,
Forsaken.
I've never played, I didn't play Destiny 2 like at all. Like, didn't
Mm-hmm.
play the base game. It was just, I played Destiny 1, like literally the demo, and I was like, oh man, this is not a lot of content for $60. Like, realizing kind of like what the map was. And like the gameplay felt phenomenal. It was just one of those things at the time I was super broke. So I was like, I'm definitely not buying this. And
Mm-hmm.
then 2 came out and it was like, oh, so it's just more of the same, huh? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I fell off Destiny 2 in 2018 after the Forsaken expansion came out. I played it, and then a Marvel Spider-Man came out right after that. So I played Spider-Man, meant to go back to Destiny, never did. Time got away from me and everything. And I only just got back to Destiny 2 this year, earlier this year with the Witch Queen expansion. So like I'm enjoying it again. It's a great time and all like that. So I'm excited for Lightfall, see where the story goes, and the new powers we're gonna get and everything like that. But then we actually got a nice trailer here, which wasn't like the biggest like whoa type thing, but still a cool trailer for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. This trailer revealed that Batman is in the game, and he is in fact Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is actually alive. Batman was not actually killed off for real at the end of Arkham Knight. Sorry, spoilers in case you didn't know. Um, the trailer we have the squad, they bring an unconscious Flash into like this building, they hole up in the building. Captain Boomerang is like taunting Flash and accidentally cuts his finger off in a really really weird way. He's like, oh man. um but then reveal that Batman's alive and Harley's like, hey Bruce, just like, hey, you're not gonna kill anyone. Proceeds to like drop a person's broken neck body on the ground. Just like, oh, okay, he will kill people. But yeah, Batman's alive. He's infected by Brainiac, which is terrible. You don't argue Batman is arguably the one person on the group you don't want to have turn bad, because that could not be good for anyone. Like him and Superman are like the two you don't want to have go evil. But the big thing actually about this whole trailer was the fact that he is voiced by Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy did one more performance as Batman before he sadly passed away. And it is here in Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Releases May 26th next year. And I'm not gonna lie, the Kevin Conroy thing it sold me on getting this game. Like I was on the fence before because we haven't really seen gameplay, but because it's Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman, I'm like, nah, I got to do it.
Oh no, I mean I was on board anyways, just because it is rock steady, like, you know,
Yeah,
um just the pedigree, and it's like, hey man, it's been so long. Like, I gotta see what they're up to, at this point. Like, I'm very interested. I wouldn't call myself like positive about this game, like, or like I'm not projecting that it'll be amazing, but I'm also not going to be negative until we have an actual reason to. I do feel like it's been so long that things probably went wrong. There's been all the reports about the cancel games, the yada yada. I don't necessarily think that means this could be bad or will be bad, but it could. Like, it, when those
yeah,
kind of things happen, when there's smoke, there's fire. There's always something going on. Hopefully, it doesn't matter. Hopefully, ultimately, still a great game, and like all that other stuff falls to the wayside. But sometimes when you're tracing back, like, how did this game end up so bad? Like what you do with the Gotham Knights or whatever, that like there is a paper trail. I feel like already leading up to, like, if this is bad, I think we have an idea as to why a little bit.
yeah. See, I'm not like you. We're like I'm optimistic about the game. Like it is Rocksteady. They have the pedigree. It's been a while, so I'm sure I have hope it'll be a good game, a really great game. But because we still don't really know what the gameplay is actually like, and
There's also
it's
that we just
different.
straight up haven't seen gameplay.
Right, like we know it's very different. You have the four characters, so what is that going to be like? That brings up questions of, is this a co-op game? Is it a shared world type of game? Is there going to be all this loot and gear and crafting involved? Like all these different things we don't know, and those are the things that are going to be the tipping point from like how excited I end up getting for this game itself. I'm in on the premise. I like the premise. It seems cool. I like that Rocksteady's going for a funnier tone. They're going rated M as opposed to being restricted to rated T with the Arkham games that they had before. It's I'm in on all of that. It's just we have no idea what the gameplay is really like, what the systems are like, and that will affect my excitement. But because Kevin Conroy's in it, I feel like I need to play this to experience his last performance as
Oh
Batman.
yeah, I'll for sure buy it. I'm a sucker. I bought Gotham Knights, but I enjoy Gotham Knights also. So, you know, it is
Yeah.
what it is.
This one could be a steaming turd, and you'll be like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I like it's a golden steaming turd. It's actually not
Does
that
it
bad, guys.
does it give my brain the same like go burr moments as Gotham Knights?
Suicide Squad, go burn.
Yeah.
King Shark, go burn. Oh boy, cool game though. Last of Us Part One is coming to PC officially March 3rd, 2023. We knew it was coming to PC already, but didn't know the date. Now we know March 3rd. And then best adaptation went to Arcane League of Legends, which not really surprised there. Everyone kind of expected that to be a shoe-in for that award anyway. And then we finally got another two reveals back to back that I think personally are very exciting. The first of which,
Yeah. I was just gonna say like these two, then you got Death Stranding thrown in there like a couple later, but really it goes like these two, and then this is where the drop off starts to happen to me. Like I don't there's like a long stretch of like but these two are bangers for sure.
right. So the first up is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We already knew the game existed, but this is our first time seeing actual gameplay, getting a better idea of the story. Um, it's super cool. We see that character that was in the Bacta tank. They're getting released. We don't know who they are though, but we hear some narration from them say that they don't want to be in prison again. We see Sarah again in the trailer. She's now fully shaved head, working in some outpost of some sort. Cal is back, with a whole new facial get up and everything. He has a beard. He has more scars on his face and everything. We see it doing a force grab to hold soldiers and like hold them in front of bullets and have them actually shoot their guns on others. We got mounts we can ride, whether it be on foot or in the air. Dual wielding is back. We got an ally with us who we're doing combo moves with. Our lightsaber has a hilt that lights up, somewhat similar to Kylo Ren's, except not as extreme. Um, it's all cool. I thought this trailer did the job of showing that Star Wars Jedi was the Assassin's Creed 1. This is the Assassin's Creed 2. This is going to be a much better game.
Yeah, I don't know. People really liked the first one.
They did,
I've
and
only played like an hour and a half of it, and I got kind of bored. So this made me wonder, like, I should probably replay that before it comes out.
Yeah, I feel like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, not a bad game. I thought it was a good game, but I felt like people were so high on it because it was like a great Star Wars game amongst a sea of like good to okay
Bad
Star
ones.
Wars games. So because of
You
that,
can
it
say bad ones.
automatically
That's
got
fine.
bumped up. I feel like Battlefront 1 was good. Battlefront 2 has its issues. Battlefront 1 was good though. But no, yeah, I feel like that caused it to just get propped up so high in so many people's minds, which is why I was like, how are people saying this is a GOTY game? This is not a GOTY game. Like it's a good
It
game.
was
It's
like a
not GOAT.
questionable year that year too, though. I feel like, right?
I don't remember all the games from that year, but like I was like, yeah, this is not a GOTY game, guys. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. Um, but like this one, it's just looking like it's a step up. It's looking like a step up. It's looking like it's gonna be more fun. I will definitely play this one on the normal mode, not unintentionally be playing on hard without knowing it until like damn near the end of the game, like I did with Fallen Order. Um, but as long as they fix the
Yeah,
technical issues and like the pacing and like the fast travel, like this should be a much better game.
I just want to go on a record here saying like even if I didn't finish a game, I can 100% understand why you would give it GOTY potentially in 2019. Kind of a weird year of like if you're not big into Death Stranding, maybe RE2 is like, well, it's a remake. Sekiro if you're not a big what you
Souls
call it,
person.
Souls person. And then like I would probably say Control, but like
That's right. People get Control that game of the year that year too.
I trust the people that stand Outer Wilds enough. And like I know once I finally play it, like that's probably the right answer. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the the correct answer for many people for the correct answer that people would say is like this is objectively the correct answer would be either Outer Wilds or Sekiro. The more correct answer for general audiences would have been Jedi, Star Wars Jedi, or Control, most likely.
Yeah, that feels like a
Death
good take.
Stranding would
Or
have Death
people
Stranding was
so
the outlier GOTY
I was
for
about
a
to
lot
say
of
people love
people.
Death Stranding too,
Yeah,
which
that was the outlier given that
speaking of, we'll
year.
have that here in a little bit, but not before the next one, which this is like Hades. This feels like the spiritual successor in announcements to Hades too. Like something people
Yes.
did not expect they were gonna get, and the fans of it are like, oh my god.
Yep. This is Earthblade from the creators of Celeste. As soon as I saw from the creators of Celeste appear, I was like, what? What is this? I loved Celeste. I never did the B-sides because dear Lord, those are difficult. But
I've never
Celeste
played
was an
Celeste.
amazing Celeste is an amazing game, dude. It's
Yeah,
such a
I've
great
heard.
platformer.
I
Such a
I
great game.
trust I trust that it is that good. It's one of those things I never got around to.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe this, while it's not tied to this, I feel like maybe I'll play it in the lead up, but it's not coming out till 2024. So I do have time.
You do have time. But Earthblade, kind of like you said, seems like a spiritual, I guess a spiritual successor or follow-up of sorts, where Earthblade, it's still pixel art, just like Celeste. They're still platforming, just like in Celeste. But this is more of an action platformer as opposed to Celeste, which was a straight up just platforming game. So we don't in the trailer we see like our character kind of jumping around using like a sword of some sort to attack enemies, climbing up chains. I think they were climbing up walls and stuff. We didn't really see if there was like a dash move to using the air like there was a Celeste. Um, but it seems really neat. It seems really cool. And again, it's from the creators of Celeste. We saw a couple different environments as well. I'm in on this. Celeste was a solid game, one hell of a game. I have no doubt in my mind that Earthblade will be great. Like at bare minimum, it'll be a great game. So I'm super
Yeah.
into it. I'm just mad we gotta wait till 2024 for it. Like, no.
I don't know if there's a bigger like hell yeah to like I could care less drop off than
Yes.
this to Dune.
Awakening. It's like,
We
okay.
don't have to talk about this. Like we don't
No,
have to
yeah,
do
we
this to
don't.
ourselves. It's an MMO.
Open world survival
Next.
MMO. I was like, oh, okay, moving on. Next. Forspoken got a playable demo, which I haven't played yet. I haven't queued to download on my PS5 though, so I do want to play that.
I might play it, but man, there's not a game I'm like less excited for that I know I'm going to play because I'm like, I'm probably gonna load it up, but I'm just like could care less.
Well, can you care less about Death Stranding 2, which was officially revealed? This has been the game Kojima has been teasing for the past couple months with Elle Fanning, with gosh, I'm blanking on her name, but the girl who played Negasonic Teenage Warhead's girlfriend in Deadpool 2. She's
Yeah.
in this. Kojima's been teasing this for a while. It is
He
Death
pulled the
Stranding
rug
2.
under us. People I think people are so over Death Stranding. Some people that are like, I wasn't into it or I didn't play it, that a lot of people are just like, well, let's just assume the other game's gonna be better. And so I think they're really selling themselves on like this is all for the other game, which I was listening to the Kind of Funny podcast, and I think they had the name that it was rumored to be, which
Like
like I forgot.
overdose.
Overdose, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are like, it's gonna be overdose, it's gonna be overdose, and surprise, it was all just for Death Stranding 2, which had a killer trailer. I
Mm-hmm.
have Death Stranding 1. I bought it like on sale for like $15 last year, and I need to play it
Nice.
at some point. But I mean, this looks good, man. He just makes killer trailers. Like
He
I respect
does.
it. It made my like top 5 of like what I was most interested in for my video I made, but it was purely out of like Kojima makes sick trailers, man. Like
Yeah, like his
this
trailers,
is
like
fun, you know?
they're mysterious. They have so many like they're very cryptic, but I think like when you watch them back in hindsight, they reveal quite a bit about whatever the game actually is. Like this trailer, it revealed that Leah Seydoux' character from the first game, I forgot her name, I think it was Fragile. It's confirmed she's in the game. She's like in some bunker with an actual baby. Like the baby's not in those containment things. She's actually holding a baby. And then like she's trying to hide from some soldiers. She ends up escaping, but seemingly is killed along with the baby. It's really not clear what actually happens. We see that another creature like comes out of the containment device that like the BBs are stored in, and then we get the reveal that Norman Reedus's character Sam is back, except he's older with gray hair now. And Fragile comes to him, and she's like, "This is my team." And like this giant ship comes out this lake of like black goo or whatever. This organization is called Drawbridge. She's like, "Come, we got a new journey for you to go on." And Troy Baker's character from the last game may or may not be in this. Seemingly is, because we see Troy Baker's name pop up during when this character just inexplicably does a guitar riff for a song. It's like it's the most Kojima thing to put in a trailer. It's like, oh yeah, my character's gonna do a guitar riff for some reason, no explanation. But the tagline is, "Should we have connected?" And then they brought Kojima out, and he talked about it a bit, saying that he rewrote the story during the pandemic. He made a joke about, yeah, I don't want to predict any more futures, guys. I don't want to do that anymore. Uh, but then he did hint he's working on another project. It's not ready to be revealed yet. One would assume that one is Overdose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in on
And
this.
then, yeah,
I'm
in.
I'm in. I haven't played Death Stranding 1. I've wanted to for a while, and this is like, all right, I'm going to be playing it. My question for you, though, is this. You remember Death Stranding was announced 2016. It was announced the same year as the God of War show, if I'm right. The God of War E3.
Then that was 17, I think.
No, that was 2016. I remember E3 2016. That was the God of War one. I believe Death Stranding was announced that same year on stage, and then it came out in 2019. When do you think? Do you think this also has a similar like 3-year announcement to release pipeline, or do you think this could be a bit shorter or longer?
I think this is shorter for sure. I would say 2024. That would be my guess. Yeah, he's worked with the Decima engine. This is way more thorough than that initial Death Stranding trailer.
That's true. The initial one was just Norman Reedus on the beach waking up, and then we see the things in the sky and everything. Where this one, yeah, you got a fair point there. You got a fair point. There is a bit more going on. 2024 actually doesn't sound that far. I mean, it doesn't sound like that far.
And then, like, it could be November. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's gonna be early 2024.
No, I didn't think you meant early. I figured you meant like September to
probably
December.
The same release window he had the last one.
Yeah, I think 2024 is the earliest, probably. I'm thinking 2025 is a bit more likely for this. But I don't expect us to have to wait too long for this because, again, the last one released pretty quickly after it was announced. So I think we'll be seeing.
Yeah, I'll go on record. I'll say I'll lock in 2024.
Okay.
I think it would take like significant delays to hit 2025.
You know what? If I want to go on record, I'm going to say spring 2025 because I think it is sooner than we expect. I think fall window of 2024 might be a bit.
Has Kojima ever released a game in spring?
I don't know. I don't know his release window.
Kind of stuff matters, man. I'm telling you, like it matters when it comes to nailing dates. I don't think he's a spring guy. I think November. I'll even go so far, November 2024, just for the bonus points.
Okay. All right. He's going for the bonus points now. November 2024. Tyler got it on record.
It's 2 years, man. It's a long time.
It is. And then, as you were saying, right after this, we go into an announcement that's like, okay, anyway. Immortals of Avium. It's an EA original coming next year. The trailer didn't really do much, really, in terms of showing anything or telling us.
It was
anything.
Cool for that half a second. I thought maybe we were getting an Avowed trailer.
Right. For a moment, I was like, is this Avowed? But I was like, no, this is an EA original, so it can't be Avowed. But like, we're doing the spell with the hand thing that Avowed did.
I didn't see the EA Originals logo either. Again, working. So I turn around. I'm like, oh shit, we're getting Avowed. Oh no, this is not Avowed.
This is not that at all. Very different. Best narrative, that award finally went to God of War Ragnarok. And then Tekken 8 came out with a new trailer, showed off some gameplay, some cinematics. If you're a Tekken fan, then you were probably super in on the lore going on here. Like Jin and Kazuya and Jin's mother, what's going on? They were fighting like, I wrote this down. They're fighting Man of Steel style. Like they're in New York, just like flying through the air, punching each other. It looked like a fight out of Man of Steel, was absolutely insane. Um, and then we had a couple more awards back to back to back. Like they just rattled these off. Best art direction, Elden Ring, not too much of a surprise. Best VR AR game was Moss Book 2. Best sim strategy was Mario and Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. Best community support, Final Fantasy 14. And then we got a trailer for Nightingale, which we've seen before, which is like it's like a crafting survival type game. And all I could think of watching this was the part when this is a game I really don't care about that much, but the part where you see the characters jump off the cliff and pull out their umbrellas to float down, I was like, Mary Poppins, y'all. Like, Mary Poppins is floating on down. You got the giant in the background. It was weird, but hey, that game
Yeah,
exists.
it's a game that looks fine, but
It's not for me at
it's
all.
like, yeah, it's 100%. I feel like if it's a game that I was like, I'm gonna play it, I'd be lying to myself. So
Yeah, if you're into like crafting survival type games, it's probably on your radar, but I'm not into those. So like, I'm just like, it exists and it's there for the people who will like it. It's not for me though, in any way, shape, or form. Uh,
and see, the next game was cool trailer. Probably never gonna play that.
Same. That was Baldur's Gate 3, right after As Dusk Falls won Games for Impact Award.
Oh, I was actually saying Remnant 2 had a sick trailer.
Oh wow, so you skipped way ahead then.
No, so you know what's weird? It like they double did Remnant 2. It was weird. Just like I went back and double checked through the timeline, and it's like they did indeed have Remnant 2 and then like re-show it. It was super weird.
Interesting. I didn't have that happen to me. That wasn't okay. That really didn't happen to me. That was odd. Because Remnant 2 didn't come until way later on my list here. But I mean, hey, we'll talk about it right now then, since you brought it up. Remnant 2. I never played the first one. So watching
I
this,
didn't
I
know the
was
first
like,
one existed, man, if I'm being real.
yeah, the first one is Remnant from the Ashes, I believe, is what it's called. This one
Something like that,
dropping the
yeah.
subtitle is just a two. So watching the trailer, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, it's such a weird juxtaposition of like these really weird alien type creature looking things, and then like regular humans that are kind of like steampunk in like design with their outfits and everything. It was really weird, but it seems like it could be a cool, really wacky, fun time, if you got the right crew of people to play with.
Yeah. Um I like again, great trailer. Am I gonna play this? Probably
Yeah, same here.
not.
I'm
Like
probably not going to do it either.
this really like after Death Stranding, there's like a slew of shit I'm never going to play. No offense to Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, great PS2 game.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not going to play Baldur's Gate 3 either.
it's like a slew of things I will never play. Diablo 4 and Horizon DLC, more stuff I'll never get. And then you could like good trailers, arguably debate the hype of them, but you could like I could make an argument that I'm literally going to play nothing throughout the rest of the show until Final Fantasy 16.
Wow. You so let's go over some of these some of these that you're talking about here. Wayfinder. I'm into this. I'm into this.
I got to
It
rewatch
seems
the
like
trailer for this.
I have it linked here on the dock. Like all the ones that have
You,
links, those are the
I already
trailers
have
for them.
YouTube pulled up, so just
Oh, yeah, Wayfinder. Like this one seems cool to me. It's a fantasy shared world action game.
oh no, yeah, no, thank you. Yep, that seems.
Yeah.
I remember why I didn't remember this. That's gonna be a no for me.
Yeah, I signed up for the beta today. It's coming to PC, PS4, and PS5. Early access is in the spring for PC and PlayStation. It's going to be releasing free to play in the fall for multiple platforms. Like I'm into this. It scratched an itch of some sort for me where I was like, oh, fantasy
Whatever,
type game,
whatever that itch
cool.
is for you, it's been buried by me. It's a no.
You were like, no, I got rid of that itch. I no longer have
Everything wrong with modern games.
it. No, I'm into this one. It seems cool to me. It seems like it could be just. It seems like a fun world, and I'm just like, hey, I'm open to something new, something different. Why not?
We spent 1 minute talking about Wayfinder, and that's 1 minute too many. The
we'll
next
spend
one is
we'll spend
the
less
next
time about
thing
Fire
is
Emblem. Fire Emblem Engage.
yeah. I was about to say
talking about paid DLC.
DLC, great for Fire Emblem people. No offense, Fire Emblem, I'm sure is a great game, just not my thing.
Yeah, neither is
Maybe one
mine.
day I'll play it. Definitely not for me right now.
Yes, not mine, but it seemed cool for the people that are enjoying it. Diablo 4, I enjoy this trailer. Great Blizzard CG as always. We see basically the human army coming down to hell to fight Lilith, essentially. And we got the release date June 6th. You can pre-order to get early open beta access. I'm not gonna pre-order, but I do want to play Diablo 4. I've never played a Diablo game before, but Diablo 4 just like really, it's hitting me in the right way. I do want to play this game when it comes out, if I'm able to, because time is crazy.
I'll play Diablo 4, 100%. But it's like it has hit this, and my girlfriend's also super into Diablo, so like we'll definitely play that together. Be a lot of fun. But I think it's hit this point where I'm just like, I know it's coming. I've known it's coming forever now.
You don't need to see more.
Just put out the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. You're not gonna get excitement and like a pop for me every time you play a trailer now. Like, give us the fucking game.
Yeah. This is also 4 days after Street Fighter 6 and like maybe a week and change after Star Wars Jedi. So like
not Star Wars Jedi, Suicide Squad.
That's what I meant. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Squad. This is gonna be around E3. I'm sure game journalists are just kind of like, this sucks, but
they're like, come on, man, really, really. And then like Final Fantasy 16, they're gonna be playing it at that point in time as well. Like even though it releases later that month,
possibly
if it releases later that month, they're gonna be playing it earlier that month for review purposes. So like,
it just depends. I mean, not every game you get 3 weeks to like. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a 1 or 2 week game.
Well, I imagine.
I also don't know historically what Square does for what their what's it called, the date where you can start talking
embargoes,
the embargo date versus like how long do they give before that. But I'm just saying, like, it's become common practice for some studios to like hold it pretty close, and like you get a week or you really have to crush it and rush. But yeah, it's definitely possible that during that week they're also playing this.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it more when we get there, but I imagine they will, because just thinking about dates, like you're either going to be playing that game during E3 or you're going to be playing that game right after E3 is done, because of just when E3 falls. E3 is going to be done by the 15th of June. Like the reviews, you will be playing the game during that time for a fact.
Yeah.
So best sports racing game, Gran Turismo 7 won that. Best multiplayer game, Splatoon 3 won that one. Not a surprise. Well, that actually was a bit of a surprise to me. Best audio design went to God of War Ragnarok. Most anticipated game, which was fully fan voted, went to Tears of the Kingdom, which I wasn't that surprised by.
I was wrong.
Resident Evil 4, right?
I was wrong. Huh?
You thought Resident Evil 4 was going to win that, right?
I thought maybe RE4 or I guess another one. Yeah, I didn't think Zelda would win. I thought the backlash to the Zelda hype would have taken over, but I was wrong.
No, I figured it would, but I figured it was going to win either this or Starfield, but I voted Final Fantasy 16. I mean, is what it is. Then Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores, set in LA.
PS5 only.
PS5 only as well. Yes, set in LA. Aloy is going after some sinister threat that's out there. LA is now like a volcanic archipelago, is how they described it. I'm into this. Surprising that it is PS5 only, considering that the game is on PS4 and PS5. So I'm excited by that, because I'm excited to see what they do with this DLC now that it's only on PS5, just in terms of like creative decisions they can make, and technically and all like that. Like, all right, you're only doing PS5. What are you doing with it now? Or are you going to do anything with it, period, that you couldn't do before with the PS4 holding you back? I'm excited for it. And it comes out April 18th. Kind of a tight time.
I have April 19th.
Sorry, I've said 18th. I meant 19th.
You're good. I'm definitely excited, and will play it. Even if like I was probably more down on Horizon Forbidden West than some people. But now here, you seemed like you were like, oh, really? But close your eyes and look deep in your heart. Don't think about the actual trailers. Don't think about the hype in the moment, but just really think about this list I'm about to read out to you. And you tell me fucking straight face that you are going to for sure play any of these games. Blue Protocol.
Yes.
Transformers Reactivate. Company of Heroes 3. Banishers Ghost of Eden.
Maybe.
Warhammer Space Marine 2. Meet Your Maker. Crash Team Rumble. Boards of the Fallen. And fucking Crime Boss. That's 100% all games you lie to yourself that you're going to play. None of them you are actually going to play.
Only 2 of those do I actually want to play. Okay. One of those, first up, Blue Protocol. I do want to play Blue Protocol.
See, that's a no for me.
It's coming from Bandai Namco Online and Amazon Games, which I know is already like a red flag for some people. It's a multiplayer online action RPG where you become the hero of your very own sci-fi fantasy adventure. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Um, it is very much giving anime MMO action RPG, and I was like, this looks like
It's very much giving. We want that Genshin money.
yeah, I was like, this looks like the stupid type of flashy fun anime fun that I just want to get in on this. So I'm in on that one. I'm in on that. Okay. Also, real quick, Bayonetta 3 won Best Action Game, as we kind of expected. Transformers Reactivate. I can't say yes or no because that was a CG trailer, and I'm not even gonna lie. I would never, if you had told me that was a Transformers game without showing me the Transformers logo at the end, I would not have known that was a Transformers game. Nothing
I'm
about
fully
that
convinced.
Transformers.
I love the idea of low stakes conspiracy theory, right? Just like it's not harmful in any ways. It's just like dumb low stakes. I fully believe this game is a money laundering endeavor. That like they're like, oh, we paid the money for the trailer, blah blah blah, and they were like, all right, what's a semi-popular franchise to get them off the scent? You know what? Honestly, you could convince me any of these games I just listed off are a money laundering scheme, especially Blue Protocol as well. But yeah, 10 years from now, we're gonna be like, hey, you remember that one Transformers trailer? And we're gonna be like, oh yeah, and it's gonna be like, Tyler was right. That was 100% a money laundering scheme.
Like I got nothing from this. I was like, oh, I wonder alien invasion. Cool. I wonder what this is. All right, we're waking up a robot. Okay, the robot's gonna, help us. Cool. I wonder what this is. Transformers Reactivate. What? Transformers? What in that told me Transformers? Nothing in this screen Transformers at all. There wasn't an Autobot logo, a Decepticon logo. We didn't see transformations happening. None of that. It was in this trailer. Just the Earth getting wrecked by aliens. That was it.
Money laundering.
This Transformers reaction.
The only thing that
end.
They said too many people are onto the mattress store thing. We need to come up with some new ideas. And then they brought in some dork, some like, your typical gamer kid or whatever. They were like e-boy, and they were like, what's the hip money laundering thing? And they're like, should we make some kind of app? And they were like, no, 100% people are onto that. Like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say you're making a game, but you're never gonna make a game. We're gonna outsource a CGI trailer to a place where they don't pay people a lot of money to make this trailer. And we're gonna say it costs a lot of money. We're gonna have a whole fake development team full of names that we won't be able to point out and say that's not a real person, but deep down we all know it's not a real person. And then, just like with all this HBO Max shit, it's going to be a giant tax write-off. And it's like, at the end of the day, you'll spend $1 million, you'll get $50 million off in taxes. And they're going to be like, sounds great.
You sound like you're describing the big plan, the big picture plan that Blue Box Game Studios had, but they couldn't actually execute on. It sounds like you're just explaining the big picture plan. It just didn't pan out for them at all.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, Transformers, that was weird.
Not good.
Very weird. Very weird. All right. So then Michael Keegan, I mixed up his name entirely. Keegan Michael Key came out to present a clip from the Super Mario Brothers movie. His joke was not landing at all. I appreciate his commitment to the bit about Toad's head being a cap or a hat or whatnot. It was not working. It was like the whole time he was doing it, I felt like the Jonah Hill meme of him just being like, no, just cut it, and just like, I get you gotta do what you gotta do it, whatever. But again, this clip showed Mario just his first time entering the Mushroom Kingdom and traveling with Toad to Princess Peach's castle. And like, I'm in on this movie, dude. I know you're not really a big fan of game adaptations. It's doing it for me. Like the music
has not done it for me yet. It's not that like I'm like, this is gonna be the worst movie ever. It just looks so safe, so boring. Like I wish it was gonna be either more hilariously bad or like so obviously like, oh man, they're really swinging for it good. And it's like 100% going to be in the safest zone ever of like, it's a kid's movie that's not terrible. Parents won't be like, that's the worst thing I've ever had, but you'll forget about it like 5 minutes after you walk out of the theater. or
I
after
don't
you
know.
play it for your kid on Netflix or whatever. Just like, and just like that doesn't interest me. That's so boring. I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure.
I'm gonna be in that theater smiling like a giant kid as I watch Mario go through the Mushroom Kingdom and hear the Mario theme songs playing in the background. Like
Call me a cynic if you want. I'm
it
fine with
just
that. I'm fine being the cynic here.
it looks cool. It looks awesome. It's selling me on it more and more every time. Like they clearly care. That's the thing. They care so much about Mario and getting this right. And that it seeps through in every aspect of this movie to me so far. It really does. So I'm in on this. I've been in day one since we saw the first trailer, and everything we've seen since then has just sold me more and more. So
Yeah, like I said, it's not like everything's gotten like it's not like, oh my gosh, it's just it's whatever. It's safe. It's to me like I I think they could have done something more ambitious, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to make money. I get it. Like
yeah.
I'm definitely not like I can't believe what a betrayal. It's just like it is what it is. Like, but that's not meeting the bare minimum is not going to get me excited.
Fair. God of War got best score in music. Xenoblade fans cried as they heard that happen. And then Banishers Ghost of New Eden, new trailer, new game from Don't Nod, creators of Life is Strange. They're trying to move away from Life is Strange. We got a mostly CG trailer of a man and a woman. They're like in a bar or a hut of some sort, and the guy is talking to another woman, and it turned like it seems like they're him and the person he's like with are in a relationship, but then she kind of disappears. She's like a ghost, and he's a banisher, or they were banishers, which I guess in this world are people that hunt down monsters to banish them from the world. It's really not
This is
quite clear. Like I think this game has potential based off what we saw, but I still
yeah,
don't
it's
really
don't
nothing.
nod. So
I still don't know really anything about like, all right, what exactly is this that we're doing here? What exactly is this game? It has potential. It just wasn't the best trailer, I think.
don't nod gets the benefit of the doubt. I thought the trailer was fine. Couldn't tell you what the game's about, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I will tell you, however, this is the worst game title name ever. Like this is what you
it's
would
not the
like
best title. It's not the best title.
if they brought me in to for the whole meeting for the money laundering and how do we make a game out of it. I'd be like, yeah, this is the name, and they'd be like, it's taken, and I'd be like, son of a bitch, what do you mean somebody took the most obvious fake game name ever? God, it's so bad, like the
It's
name,
very
but
wordy. I feel like the title would be better if it was just called Banishers, but it's Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. It's like drop the Ghosts of New Eden, just Banishers is fine.
if this was the name of the game they were making on Mythic Quest, we would all just believe it because it's such a good fake name.
Yes, it's a good generic game name that you just put out for like you said
And
on
Don't
this
Not is
random
good.
show.
Life is Strange is a memorable name. Like, how do you go from something so clean, easy to remember, iconic
Even
to
remember
this?
me, remember me. That's a great title. I like that one.
Great name, even if nobody remembers that game.
I
But
didn't. Yeah, I didn't play. I played the demo of the game, but the title was a good title. Good
I played
title.
like the first 10 minutes because I have it on my PS3 as a free PS Plus game. But
Uh yeah, this Banishers Ghost of New Eden, not a good title. Just leave it as Banishers. That'd be much better. But it drops end of 2023, PS5, Series X and S and PC. Then we got a new trailer for Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. I'm not into Warhammer, not for me.
not into
Uh
Warhammer. This game does look fun though.
it does.
I said like it all looks like garbage. This might be the one that I realistically actually play. Possibly, but it's like that's a very but again, I'm probably lying to myself. That's the theme. All this stuff is stuff we're not actually excited about. This is the filler that you fill a show with. This was my argument that the pre-show is better because all those indies I was talking about, I will probably actually play. This shit, I like no offense to the developers of Warhammer 2, because this is the game I might actually play, but like the rest of them, don't not do better. Meet your maker, sorry, not cutting it.
Yeah.
Like the
And
indies.
we've heard of Meet Your Maker before. Like I think
I
IGN had
thought
like
we had,
pieces of it. But
but I
like
couldn't place my thought. I was like, have we seen this before? I feel like we have, but
yeah, this isn't the first time it's been talked about. We've heard of it before. I think this might be the first time it's been on like a big stage of some sort. But I remember IGN had like an article about it or something like that. This is essentially a game where one person like makes a level that a person has to get through and then like place enemies in it, and then like the other people try to get through it to get to the end or to like the boss, the big boss or whatever. And it's like kind of like your asymmetrical type multiplayer games that people have out these days. I wrote here a new game from the Dead by Daylight team because I believe it is. That could be wrong. But it's coming out April 4th, and I was like, yeah, it's not a game for me. I know I'm not into it at all. The trailer didn't. I don't think the trailer did too much favors for it either. To be quite fair and quite honest,
Yeah.
this could have been a pre-show announcement and
Speaking of
swap it with
things,
one of the others.
you are very right there. This
Like,
had, but this is what happens when you're trying to fill out a 4-hour show. You end up with shit like this on the main show.
yeah, I feel
Speaking
like
of things you end up with. Oh, go
see,
ahead.
here's the thing. If you had swapped some of these that we just went through, right? If you swapped some of these with some of the announcements that were in the pre-show, then the pre-show would have been
Banger.
the pre-show would have been garbage though. The pre-show would not have been good.
That's fine. You don't need the pre-show. Let's be real. You could,
That's
if
fair.
people are that, if degenerates like me are watching the pre-show, we get what we deserve, getting a bunch of trash. And I'd have been like, what am I thinking? Of course, the pre-show is trash.
Now here's what I'm thinking. You could have swapped in, let's see, you could swap Street Fighter 6 in for that. You could swap in replaced, arguably you could swap. No. Keep yeah, you could swap in replaced for another one of those announcements. And then maybe you swap in post trauma. You swap in those
Listen, man,
three, and
you don't
then
have
you
to
swap in
swap
those three
anything
for
in.
some of the others. And
I'm
then
telling you,
it's
you
a
can
better
go
balance.
from, okay, I'll even put aside my jokes about Blue Protocol aside. Fine. You can cut everything in between and be fine. Nobody, honestly, nobody would have had a problem. And I know people, the one people would probably have the biggest issue with would be Crash, the next one, Crash Team Rumble. But
Yeah.
I think we could all just live without, especially that whatever the hell that cringy
It was
like
bringing back
whole
90s Crash. Like
on.
it was cringy on purpose. It was cringy on
I
purpose.
know,
I got
but
it.
this is not the place for it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if it's at E3, you go, yeah, this is E3. When it's at the Game Awards, when it's like at the same time, Christopher Judge is having this emotional thing, like this is almost like so bad that you could now be like, oh, was that thing at the end a bit? Obviously, we know it wasn't. But it's like, this is what it sets the bar at, man. When you're just like, yeah, sure, let's let a whole tangential 90s marketing thing for Crash just fucking take main stage. Yeah, go for it. Like, this is what happens.
Yeah, it was weird. Crash Team Rumble, it's like a Crash Team
And the
based
game is
action
weird.
game. Like
Team
I was
Rumble,
getting I was getting like real MOBA vibes from it, but maybe it's not a MOBA because the trailer was all CG anyway, so we didn't actually see gameplay. But it's coming next year to like basically every
it all feels like a
platform.
fever dream to me. Like, I was like, did that game happen? Yeah, and it's not a regular Crash. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. God of War got innovation in accessibility. Lords of the Fallen got a new trailer showing off some gameplay. And
Which
then go ahead.
is Lords of the Fallen different? Is this a remake? What is this? Because I know there was that Souls. It was like one of the first Souls likes
So
back in like 2016, and I swear it was the exact same name.
So there was a game called Lords of the Fallen. This is The Lords of the Fallen. So I believe it's either a sequel or a reboot, one of the two, but it is the next game in the Lords of the Fallen series. The fact that they just put the in front of Lords for this new game doesn't do it any favors. I'm 100% with you on that. It's a very
I'm starting to
dumb
believe
title.
that my money laundering as video games thing has gone from like a joking low stakes conspiracy theory that's a little unhinged to maybe the most hinged I've ever been.
The Lords of the Fallen. Yeah.
Oh my god, what are we doing?
I mean, it would have been the cherry on top for your money laundering thing would have been if Abandon appeared here. If Abandon appeared here during the show,
Just comes like, full circle, baby.
What are we even doing in the same show as Kojima 2? What is happening here? What is happening? Crime Boss, Rockay City. I thought it seemed cool at first. The trailer, I'm like, okay, we got the stat cast: Michael Madsen, Kim Basinger, Damien Portier, Danny Trejo, Danny Glover, Michael Rooker, Vanilla Ice of all people, and Chuck Norris are all cast members of this game. Wow, seems crazy. In a CG, in like a in-engine CG type trailer. March 28th. Cool. Okay. I wonder what this game is going to be about. As I was getting like grabbing links for the trailers for some of these games, I saw GameSpot had 6 minutes of gameplay. This is surprising. Let me see what this is. It's Payday.
Yeah, they held on to that gameplay for a reason, huh?
It is Payday, except
Couldn't get me with this trailer.
Except it doesn't even seem as good as Payday. Like in the gameplay, your crew of 4 people are breaking into what I believe is a bank to get these 2 like dog statues, right? So you rappel down and like you have no gear on you, just like in like street clothes and whatnot. You rappel down off from the roof of the building, you go down into the building, and then like there's maybe like 5 security guards in there in different places, and you shoot them with your stealth with your like your silence weapons, and then you break into the vault. And when you break into the vault, basically just SWAT starts coming after you, and you're fighting waves and waves of SWAT as you're trying to work with your team to get these things out and extract it and then escape to the tunnels and get to your boat to get to safety. It is basically Payday, just doesn't seem as good as Payday could be. So like, I was like, okay, this is actually not as interesting as I thought it would be.
Yeah, you're gonna come back a year from now and be like, holy shit, Tyler was right. This is just, oh, this is awful. This whole slew of games after you're going to be like, I thought I would play Blue Protocol. What was I talking about?
I'm going to play Blue Protocol. I want to play it. It seems interesting as for right now.
Or you'll say, oh my God, I can't believe I played Blue Protocol. And the rest of this?
Maybe I will say that. Maybe I will be saying that. But no, yeah, this is definitely
like the last 3
the filler section.
Yeah, and then the last 3, just not my like. Well, Final Fantasy 16, I'm gonna play that, but it's almost like it's reaching the Diablo level of just like, yeah, I don't need to watch a million trailers. Like, I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this last 3, and then one of them's a DLC, which like again, what are we doing here? Like, this is, I don't know. You don't save Hades 2. Like, you could swap Cyberpunk with Hades 2, and I feel like it makes more sense.
I think Hades 2 makes sense to start. I think you could have had what was the one that came after it? Maybe Judas at the end. I think Hades 2 is a great one to kick the show off with. Like, no one would have expected it. Real quick, before we talk about these final 3 announcements, just want to write off the last bit of the winners here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Best role-playing game went to Elden Ring. Player's voice went to Genshin Impact. Genshin and Sonic fans were really fighting to try and make that happen. Best independent game. This is where Stray won again. Best action adventure went to Ragnarok. Ongoing game went to Final Fantasy XIV. And I'll just say the final 2. Well, actually, I'm going to say GOTY for last because we got to talk about more than just the award for that. Best game direction went to Elden Ring. We saw also a brief trailer for Modern Warfare 2's Raid that's coming. First time that's ever happening. Seems cool. Maybe I'll get around to playing it. But then we got the final 3 announcements of the show. The first one being Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. We got a brief story trailer for that. Kind of, hinting at more of like what's going to be happening here. But the real big reveal is that Idris Elba is in this game as Solomon Reed. He's going to be one of the core main characters of the Phantom Liberty expansion, which I was like, at first, I'm not going to lie, when we saw the character from the side, I thought I was like, oh, they're bringing Giancarlo into this game too? And then I heard the voice and I was like, that's my man Idris. That's Idris Elba right here. We got star power behind this game for sure.
Yeah, and I have a take about this.
What's
Turn
your
on the
take
TikTok camera.
TikTok camera.
Here we go. We need to just, I feel like collectively, we need to decide, do we not like celebrity showing up in games? Do we like it? Because I feel like we all roll our eyes and joke. Well, I mean, it's fine to joke, whatever, but we all roll our eyes and talk about like, oh, Kojima with all of his friends, just like we wish casting and he's getting to do it with his games. And yet we're sitting over here like a bunch of dipshits all celebrating like any new celebrity in Cyberpunk. I'm tired of it. Why does like CD Projekt Red, colossally messed up with the launch of Cyberpunk. Everybody's just giving them, I feel, unearned goodwill just for like making up for it 2 years later. No Man's Sky doesn't get that kind of leniency, and here we are, just like, oh, it's Idris Elba.
No Man's Sky gets leniency now. People, No Man's Sky turned
Maybe
itself
now.
around. No Man's Sky
I
turned
still
itself around, and people are like, that game's amazing. Like they had it, all their issues. They went back. They stay quiet. They fixed that game. It's in a much better place. People like give No Man's Sky its due and its flowers right now. They do.
I feel like there is a group, but I feel like more on a macro level, people don't. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like the macro level, because of CD Projekt Red, just like, yeah, it's bigger. They get, that comeback story has been more lifted up and elevated to the mainstream.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I'm going to disagree with you. I think CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk are still under the microscope because yes, they've been working to fix this game. Like the game came out, was a hot mess, and like they've been buckling down trying to fix it. And it's only been earlier this year that the game was actually in a good place where it should have been from day one. And since then, things have gotten better. And Edgerunners, I will say this, Edgerunners has definitely played a major part in the Cyberpunk turnaround story on it, in terms of like people looking back on it a bit more favorably. And I think that's more so because you might disagree with me on this, under all the technical issues that Cyberpunk had, at its core, it was a good game. Where you fall on the mechanics and different aspects of like the gameplay, that's a person to person thing. But at its core, underneath all the technical issues, Cyberpunk was a great game. You fix the technical issues, and then it's actually able to shine and all like that. So I think that's why you see people feeling more favorably about it now. But this company and Cyberpunk are still under the microscope because it was such a colossal industry-wide failure. It was such a giant cautionary tale for everyone of saying, don't mess up your game like this. Don't do this to your game. And now we're still saying, like, hey, where is CDPR going to learn those lessons going forward?
Here's where I'll dispute that. Yes, the games industry, so games journalists are holding them accountable, so they're still under the microphone or microscope. The fans that like act like, because let's not make any mistakes here. The fact that fans actually cared enough to like throw out and like create a public outrage is why this happens. Like so often, because like a lot of gamers just throw out what games journalists say or feel, it'll fall on deaf ears if like there's not the most of the target audience doesn't also get mad. So Cyberpunk was a case where there's enough people mad that their game just straight up didn't work, that actually ended up having like consequences, like it being pulled from the PlayStation Store, etc. Those same fans, because let's just face it, like we're not official journalists either. Fans are just kind of dumbasses, and like basically all is forgiven as far as 90% of fans go when it comes to CD Projekt Red. Yes. Game journalists, of course, are going to be like, oh, let's be skeptical. But I'm talking about like the people that mostly are going to play the game and now just seemingly have just like, oh yeah, we're just willfully cheering for celebrities. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I think we need to like have something, like, I'm just tired of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Kojima should necessarily get a pass. I'm just so tired of celebrity announcements being met. Like I don't know. It just comes across as like needing the acceptance of like, okay, people that don't play games, like, when is the last time a celebrity like announcement or like just play role in a game actually moved the needle? Like, I don't know. No, I don't think. And then I made a joke. I was like, where are we singing the praises of Quantum Break in 2022? Like, no, like we don't need this shit. Like Kojima, whatever. Like, as long as he still keeps making weird games, like I think we're all fine with it. But it's like, we all roll our eyes and we don't cheer for it. And it's just like, I guess I'm just in general, like already kind of sick of the CD Projekt Red comeback tour, because it just seems like things get hand wavy. Like people get too obsessed with their games, in my opinion. And like, come on, like, or they think they're Kojima now. That's just like, oh, it's got to be a celebrity thing every single time now. God.
Yeah. I just to
The Witcher 4, Brandon Cavill.
to touch on two of your points real quick. I think when it comes to Kojima, the people roll their eyes more because Kojima people, people feel like Kojima can have he's just very self-indulgent and just loves himself and everything. So for people with Kojima, it's probably a thing of like, here we go with Kojima, just like, just try to make his movie. He's trying to make
Which
a movie with a
that's
video game.
justified. But how is
Right.
this not self-indulgent?
I think I think with this, people, I don't know. I think people just don't see this as self-indulgent in the way that they do with Kojima, just because he's just really like, he just really, so I don't want to say full of himself because he's not full of himself, but I guess it's just
I
the
mean, a little
way in
bit, but
which
that's okay. Like,
right?
he's
It's,
only
I
one
guess,
of the greatest to ever do it. So I've been like,
right. Like people kind of roll their eyes at him, but they're like, go ahead. They're like, all right, here he goes again, doing his thing. It was like roll his eyes at it. Cyberpunk, I don't I don't know, but I think part of where it comes down to is one, who the celebrity is, and then two, whether or not you could tell the person actually cares and is passionate. Like Quantum Break, I never played it, but I can argue that like you did not need Sean Ashton or Sean Ashmore to play that main character. You could have gotten anyone else to do that main character, but it was him for some reason. It was.
let's
Whereas with this, yes, you could have gotten anyone else to do Johnny Silverhand or probably Solomon Reed too, but if you're getting these people and they are clearly passionate and clearly care about the role, it makes so much more of a difference than just like a celebrity stunt cast.
I listen. Idris collect the bag. Definitely not. Again, great actor. I don't know if that got cut, but I meant yeah, like love Idris, great actor. If you believe that Idris Elba gives a shit about Cyberpunk, I have a bridge to sell you. Like, what scam can I convince people of if they really think any of this is genuine or that they care about it? Like again, Keanu, love Keanu. Who doesn't love Keanu Reeves? He didn't care, man. He's like, oh, they showed me it, and it's like I'm sure they showed him a trailer, and he was like, that was cool. He genuinely doesn't care about the game. Other than that, he's like, this is a role to me. Suit me up for the mocap, baby. It's like an animated movie. Suit me up for the mocap. I'll do it. I'll take it seriously. I'm not insinuating that they're just like showing up, not caring about the job. But at the end of the day, if like people are like, they're gamers, like this is ironically enough Henry Cavill, and I said Brandon Cavill on accident earlier, my bad. Henry Cavill probably would be one of the few people to actually show up and care if he was like cast in as like the mocap for The Witcher. But he's one of the few people that's a giant dork. Okay,
Cast
Idris
Henry
Elba, look at that
Cavill.
man.
If you
He does
cast
not need
Henry
to be a giant
Cavill,
dork.
if you cast Henry Cavill in a Warhammer game, he will care so much more than
Yeah,
he
like
has
he
for any
genuinely
role
would, but
ever.
that is the exception, not the rule.
Oh man.
If
Regardless,
anything, you could argue. I think like Norman Reed is probably more genuine than like either of the Cyberpunk actors. Why? Because Kojima's his boy. Like, so he's like, yeah, I'm not a big like video games, whatever, but like I am excited for the role because Kojima is my boy. I want to do him right. You know what I mean?
yeah. Regardless, I'm excited for Phantom Liberty. I've been wanting to get back to Cyberpunk, actually give it another fair shake in it for a while, just time. So we don't know when it's coming out next year. We just know next year. We'll see whenever that releases. Then FromSoft,
Takes
they
were too
had
hot. They said everything froze up. It was just,
my internet said, whoa, 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 he's dropping too much like blasphemy here. We got to shut him down for a second. Give
your
him a
internet
cool
said,
off for a
turn
moment.
off the TikTok camera.
TikTok camera's getting shut down for a moment here. Let him cool down for a second. FromSoft, they came out with the second to last announcement of the night. Long rumored, it was kind of leaked a while ago, but finally officially announced. Armored Core is back. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. Saw a whole lot of mechs fighting stuff. The Earth got destroyed by like this major fire disaster at all. It's a next gen game. So PS5, Series X and S, PC only. No date was given or like that. I am not an Armored Core person, but I know of Armored Core. I know the fans have been dying for FromSoft to bring it back ever since they've been, I don't want to say stuck, but like stuck in the Souls like genre realm ever since Dark Souls
Yeah,
and Demon Souls
they've
popped
been
off.
busy making money in good games.
Yeah. So
No, I almost
yeah,
thought about jokingly booing when you were like Armored Core 6, but it's like, because I could not care less. I'm not excited. But at the end of the day, FromSoft wanted to do this. I'm glad. Like, I don't want them to feel
yeah,
forced into making the next Soulsborne game. Like, at the end of the day, that insert the Woody meme, hole up, let them cook. Like, just let them do whatever they want.
You know, I
Let them do
love
whatever they
how
want.
I want to say I love how that meme from Kingdom Hearts first started off as just the Woody stop as just a being like it's like, hey, hold on, I got this now. And the meme now evolved to hold up, let them cook. Like I love that we have Kingdom Hearts memes in the world that are used just casually outside of the Kingdom Hearts realm. I love that as a Kingdom Hearts fan. It's good to see that. It's good to see that happen. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably not gonna. I don't know if I'll play it. I gotta actually see more of the actual game
I
itself.
will not be playing it. Just like I like. There's nothing. There's not a bigger difference between how cool mechs are and how little desire I have to play a game with them.
You're like, not for me. Cool. Mechs are nice to look at. Don't put me in the seat of one. I'm not into that.
It's just it's bored because it becomes like plane simulator shit, and with like, oh, I've got a robot gun, but it's like, listen, man, you're taking this too serious. Like, it's different if it's like more of the kaiju kind of thing where it's like, give me a good Megazord game. Big Power Rangers fan, like that'd be sweet. But like the second we got to take it seriously and think about like, oh, how would a mech move and function in real life? I'm like, I'm out.
Well, the last announcement of the night was the one that many of us were waiting for. Final Fantasy XVI got a nice trailer, pretty fairly no nice length trailer, like 2.5 minutes or so. Gave us more story details, showed us more gameplay, showed us more of the world, gave us a tease of like some not open world exploration because it's not an open world game, but like exploring one of the zones. Right, they were like riding chocobos in the desert. We see that we have a party in the game. We haven't seen the party before, but we have a party. We have our wolf doggo party member, which the name I believe is Togra. We have another guy on our team. His name is Sid. And the other girl, her name is Jill, if I'm right. And game looks just awesome. We see Clive, the main character. He turns into Ifrit in this game, which was previously unknown. And the game finally has a release date, June 22nd, 2023. I will be there on day one, maybe with the collector's edition. I don't know. We'll see what money looks like, but I will be there day one for this game. That is my June/July game for sure.
Yeah, I'll be playing it for sure. My goal is to like, hey, be good enough or get enough views to like, hey, Square, send me that bad boy early. But
That'd be so awesome. That was able to happen. Like, hey, Square, help me
it's
out
my
here,
first
please.
one to do it. That'd be cool. I'd have a good memory for it, for that reason. But I mean, I've talked about being like, I guess I'm in on Final Fantasy in a sense now until it pulls me back out. Because I played 7 Remake. I'll play Crisis Core probably. I don't know when, but I plan on playing it eventually. It's connected to 7, which like at least I have that tie to. This is gonna be my first like it's non-7, so like we'll see how it goes. But I'll definitely play. I'll give it a shot just because I did. I really enjoyed my time with 7 Remake. So I'm definitely there. It's not like highlight of the show for me because we've had a lengthy trailer, so I'm always personally more excited about the unknown. It's like that, especially when you walk out. Like I'm always like more show me something I've maybe already seen in the beginning. I'm always like a walk off, and that's just how I prefer to end personally. So that's why I'm like, well, maybe save some of that stuff we'd never seen for the end personally. But that's just my opinion. But it's not like any of this was bad. No bad showings. Cool that we got a release date, but again, it's just like, all right, that's not never getting a release date's usually not going to be a highlight for me personally.
That's fair. That's fair. Then we ended the show, game of the year, Elden Ring. It won it. It was a close race between that and God of War, but not too surprising that Elden Ring was going to win this one. So it got the win. The team went up on stage, giving their speech and everything. And after Miyazaki's done giving his speech, the team's about to walk off, and this kid goes to the mic, and he says, I just want to thank. I want to nominate this award for my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. Thank you. And then
Yeah, this
everyone
little
just like,
weirdo
what
troll kid.
just like, what the hell just happened?
He
Huh? He was
apparently
there.
was on like InfoWars a few days before.
No, so people did research. People were like, what the hell? Who is this kid? How did this even happen? Like, how did he get? He was on stage the whole time. And it's funny because I saw him and I was just like, who is this kid? Like, I wonder who he is. Maybe he's like one of the developers' children or something. I don't know. Why is he there? But then this happened. So people have done research, have done digging, and like actually talked to this kid and stuff. He's actually done similar pranks in the past. So like at a basketball game years ago, he held up on like like on the camera, he was like dancing and then like threw up a shirt that said like free Hong Kong or whatever like that. He did something similar, I think, at another Blizzard convention. But then he went on InfoWars some years ago, but like he wasn't like on their side. It's weird. Like his whole history is weird. Jason Schreier has talked with him. Paul Tassi from Forbes has talked with him. Kotaku has like the write-ups and stuff and everything like that. But like this kid is just like a troll. He's just a troll. People were wondering like, oh, is he like was it like an anti-Semitic dog whistle of some sort? It was not. It was just a kid who somehow managed to get on stage at the Game Awards doing a
And just
major troll on the main stage at the end of the show. Um, Major security oversight, that's for sure. This kid just got on stage like this. Major security oversight. Ended the show on an absolutely wild note. The memes that came of this were hilarious though. I saw one meme that had you know how when you die or when you beat an enemy in like a boss in a Souls game, it says like enemy defeated or whatnot. So a meme that had like the kid on the screen and it said Rabbi Reform. I was just like, there you go. The internet's not failing. But yeah, that was the end of the show. Very weird. And overall, I would give the show like a solid B plus. Like grading it, I'd say it's a solid B plus. I thought it was the best.
Are
Again,
we?
best Game Awards
Am I
has been in a while.
grading announcements? Am I grading the experience?
Show as
I
a whole,
think
whatever you want to, however you want to
it's
do it.
all a
I'm
C.
doing show as a whole.
It's all a C.
Okay. Why are you saying a solid C for you? Because I know you're saying like, is it really the highs and the lows and like the low lows for you really dragged it down?
Yeah, man, you can't just waste our time for like a large portion of it and me just be like, yeah, that's fine. Like the announcements were better. So if I'm like just grading the announcements, but I still leave with kind of this like malaise, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think it's like for me, I guess the best analogy I could give is like this feels like a buffet that like you're kind of being like they're force feeding you. And it's like there's some good stuff in there, but by the end, you just like eating the filler and you're just like, oh, and you're just like, can it be over? And they're like, no. Um,
Finish
and
your
like
food.
E3, I like while not quite a like it's like a 5 course meal or whatever, a long course meal, and it's like with some like a really random weird stuff in there, but like it's not just this endless trough, you know what I mean? Because this feels like a 1 hour press conference stretched to a 4 hour weirdly formal event that like feels disingenuous.
I see. I see. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the length was better this year. Jeff definitely was saying like it's meant to be a 2.5 hour show. Uh, Christopher Judge's speech definitely pushed that over some. Um, Not no shade to him. It was a great speech. Just went
Yeah, yeah.
went on way longer than anyone
I
ever
was
would have
more rolling my
expected.
eyes at the idea that like Jeff planned this 4 hour show, and he's like, I mean, Chris Judge's 8 minute speech. Come on, like was it long? Yeah, but listen, man, it did not. He was just mad because that whole deal with Steam. Steam was like extra Steam decks. Damn it.
He's just like, no, no. But no, yeah, I thought it was a good show overall. Like the pacing, in my opinion, pacing was way better than it's been in the past. I still wish more awards were actually given on stage as opposed to just rapid fire off stage. Like, I really wish that was done more. I understand you got to balance, you
Just
know, trailers
do
and announcements and stuff, but
like just do an award show separate from like a winner E3, man. Like Jeff, just make up some weird name, some branding, get hype name for the night before, or I don't know, maybe do the award show, have it be its own thing. Then when it's done, do a 1 hour press conference, just bang out those announcements or something like that. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people will probably tune in to the last 30 minutes of the award show to see all the awards everyone cares about. You know what I mean? It's just like the fusion of them makes it an unholy abomination to me.
yeah, it's a balance. It's a tricky balance to figure out, and like that's a whole another podcast episode conversation in and of itself. So I'm not even gonna like give my take on it right now, um, because I feel like I share some thoughts, same thoughts as you, but like there's issues with it and all. But overall, good show, great show this year, better than in the past, and yeah, a lot of great games looking forward to in the future, next year and beyond. Great show though, solid. All right, so that's the Game Awards. Game Awards done, talked about, done with all that. There's been some news the past couple weeks, but it's been a long show, so we're not really going to talk about any of that stuff. In addition to the fact that it's all brief mentions, and a lot of those brief mentions can easily just be glossed over anyway. Not a big deal. There have been two pieces of news though, actually, that I at least just want to like briefly mention or just highlight in some capacity. Number one, being that Microsoft has confirmed that they will be raising the price of their first party games to $70 starting next year. So games like Starfield, Redfall, the next Forza Motorsport will be $70. And the reason for this that they said, I'm not quoting verbatim, but it's basically games are, they're getting increasingly complex and we need to raise the prices. We tried to hold out as long as we could, but it had to happen, which is what I said would happen the moment, PlayStation and other companies raises $70. It was Xbox was going to do it too. It was just a matter of time. There's no way it was never going to happen, no matter how much the Xbox community would have said, no, they're not going to do it. Sony's anti-consumer. Microsoft's not anti-consumer. Like, it's gonna happen, guys.
I'm seeing here a quote that says from Spill Sensor that says, oh shit, I thought we had already done that. Isn't everyone else doing that? Yeah, they're $70 now.
Like, it was gonna happen. Come on now. Like, we all knew it was. I'm amazed they held out this long, but no matter how much you were in denial about it, Xbox community was gonna happen. So is what it is.
The also other just a way for them to be like, Game Pass is a better deal now.
Exactly. Like, it does that. So we can have a bigger discussion about it in a future episode. Yeah. It's going to play a part in a future discussion that I have that I'm brainstorming right now for a future episode in the next couple of weeks. The other big piece of news that happened day of the Game Awards, hours before, was that the FTC is suing to block the Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Of course, this through the internet, like a curveball. Some people were expecting it, others weren't. Everyone was surprised though. They're like, "Oh wow, this is happening. Okay, how is this going to affect the acquisition? What's the next steps forward?" So some people are wondering now. Okay, they're suing to block it. Are they going to win? Is the acquisition still going to go through? Is it not going to go through? Is it going to be canceled entirely? Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, they're saying it's still going to happen. We're still going to fight for it. I think Microsoft's CEO or something, Brad Smith, he was just like, we tried to go for peace, but now we're not going to do peace anymore.
That was the exact quote. It was a little ridiculous, but
I paraphrased some, but yeah, it's like we tried doing peace, but peace no more. It's like, all right. So the Activision Blizzard Microsoft acquisition saga trucks on, just keeps on going, but had a major development here. It's going to be really interesting to see now. Okay, is this even going to go forward? Period. Is it going to be blocked? It'll be some time before we find out. But a major thing that happened. Did want to mention. I didn't want the week to go by without saying anything about it. Do you have any thoughts on it before we get to your stuff?
Not really. Just mostly that like we talked about this little pre-show. Just that like it doesn't really change what we've been talking about, and it's just more now like we've just been waiting for when it's going to happen, and now we know that could not be a possibility. But ultimately, all this is just speculation, and we're not the people that like have any kind of insight to. Oh, what exactly does this mean? Does it increase the chances X percent? So it's like, that's not us. That's not what our skills are here for. So it's just kind of like, let's just keep waiting. We'll acknowledge that it happened, could change things, but ultimately the conversation we've had thorough conversations already about just like the deal in general, et cetera. This doesn't really change any of those takes. We still have to wait to see if it officially goes through or it doesn't. And at that point, then maybe you have that final kind of like talk about it.
Yep. Great summation right there, Tyler. Great summation. With all that said, talk to me real briefly. What do you have to say about Callisto Protocol? The new game
Yeah,
from
so
Striking Distance.
just so that way my thoughts are here, so that way it's like, how does it eventually end? And then our favorite ongoing bit shortly after. So the game itself, I'm like, I think maybe 3.5 hours in. It's kind of tedious, man. It's like, I wanted to enjoy it. I went in thinking like, maybe the reviews were a little harsh. The combat system is just not super fun. And it's just like, I was telling you pre-show, I'm not a big survivor horror. Like, I'm not the guy for
Yeah,
that, just because I haven't played a ton of it. But like, I have to think that this is not emblematic of like what the best survival horror has to bring, and it's not even really bringing the horror all that much, which a lot of well thought out reviews touched on. So I don't know if I'll super like do a review or anything. Maybe I will eventually. But yeah, it's just like, if I feel like I can have an interesting angle on it, maybe as like someone coming from the genre, but just not having the best time. It's not that it's awful. It's just, and there are some moments of genuine tension, but it's like, when you're not looking forward to like just pressing through something, it's just like, generally speaking, you're probably not going to give that game the highest of scores. Like right now it's tracking at that like 6 range, maybe even a 5. Like, it's brutal at times, like just how I'm like, I'm just not having fun. But
you're
I
not having
am,
fun when it comes to like the gameplay or the story or both.
it's like a B movie story, but like, when you have a B movie story, it's like, okay, we know that this is all a setup. It's just like a fun, overly simple setup for a good time.
Yeah, it's a vehicle for the fun.
For the fun, in which, in a movie's case, it's fine if it's just a bunch of carnage. But in a video game, I want something other than just there's violence. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what it feels like this game has right now. Like,
Mm.
okay,
It's
I get to
gory.
see one of the 12 death, and there's actually, to be fair, a lot of death animation sequences, but I'm not having fun. And sometimes they take really long, and I just want to fucking load up the game and retry from the point I was at again. Like, I don't, and like, if I do see a repeating one, now it's just getting on my nerves. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I hope, of course, the game makes a turnaround. Maybe I really like the ending. Maybe I like where it's one of those just slow starts where it pushes off a little bit more for me. But yeah, just the vibes are not great so far. And my other note, as our ongoing bit that we started in God of War Ragnarok, how horny is this game? And I really had to comment on this because this has reset the bar for us. I
Does it
apologize
now?
to God of War Ragnarok. It gets a whole extra horny point. This game is so incredibly unhorny. It is like, sometimes survival horror or horror games in general, there will be a little bit of tension between like leads or whatever. It's like, just, you want a little bit of fluff, a little bit of lightness, maybe some flirtation going on to like, or humor to kind of offset all of the general gore or horror and violence. This game just, I think it's maybe try to joke, but like, it takes itself so seriously, which again, you can forgive maybe if you're having a good time, but also like, just listen, man. Josh Duhamel, not an ugly man in real life, but like, the model, it's got a little bit of that not silicone, uncanny
um,
valley
yes.
going on. And there's just like gratuitous shots of him sweating and just like, and he's covered in blood, and you're going through sewage water, and you're just like, yeah, this is, and there's like,
You're saying
so
it
she's
doesn't
like,
get you going when you see him wiping the sweat off
no,
his face.
dude, it's just the opposite of horny. And the funniest part is like, I don't know what her name is. I think she's also based off a real life actress, but she's the female lead in the sense that she's
Yeah,
part of this
she's in The
terrorist group.
Boys. She's
Huh?
in that show, The Boys.
That's her. Okay. She looks familiar. And her model is like, she's good looking in The Boys too, but she is smoking in this game. And this game is so uninterested in that. It is so like, we don't even want to, at least so far. Again, I'm setting the bar for where I'm at. This is, I think I have to create a negative point scale for horniness. I think we're at -4 horny right now. We're at DEF CON of just like, you are, you're just like, you've got to have a palate cleanser after playing this game. You're like, I'm at negative. I've got to reset to my natural state of 0. You know what I mean?
You sure you don't want to just like go to the other scale of like 10 and just by like playing some hentai game off Steam or something like that?
No, whoa. I don't need to do all that. But no, like that's the thing. You can't go. It might break your brain going from this to that. You need to like just like, okay, let me think about anything other than like sweat, sewage, and like limbs being cut in half. Let me now get to my natural state of zero before I can even like proceed with regular life. It is
You know what
just,
might
yeah.
be? Well, you know what might be a middle ground of sorts? Modern Warfare 2, the new one.
Yeah.
There, you know what? Like the one of the characters in the game, she got people's
It's
attention. She got
because
people's
Modern Warfare
attention,
in
and it's like,
general,
okay, all right.
it's trying to glisten up war. It's trying to make war look a little sexy. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, ultimately still about killing people, but you know, what if the military was full of e-boys and e-girls? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they had, you know, six packs? What if this was all kind of a little sexy? But it's like, so it's like a one or a two. You know, it's not like it's definitely not horny's not its core value, but it's at least there.
Horny is
There's a
not
small attempt.
horny is not its core value. That is a thing you just said about Modern Warfare 2. It is not its core
Listen, we just talked about
value.
Hades. Okay, horny is definitely one of Hades' core values are.
Yes, yes. It's just I never would have thought the bit would have gotten to like to this level of depth of what is the game? What is the game's core value? Is horny a core value of this video game?
We're just asking the question. With Callisto Protocol, it's a resounding no.
It's a resounding no. I wonder how many games it is a core value of.
Some games they go, we want our players to get a little bricked up. Other games are like we want it the opposite.
Callisto Protocol is the latter. We want the opposite. We don't want
like
you.
we want them to
like
go back
that.
to church and reevaluate their life.
Yes, reevaluate everything that you just thought about. Reevaluate all your life choices for the past 10 years. Come back here, and then, you know, after you've experienced the sermon and the gospel. Okay.
But that's the ongoing bit, you know. Some games I feel like it would be inappropriate to like. I feel like it's weird to just talk about Pokemon like that. I know some people don't, but I'm not gonna rank that game. The children's game is how I view it ultimately, so we're gonna stay away. But Callisto Protocol feel fine ranking that it's a -4 officially on the scale.
All right, there we go. -4 on the horny scale, about a 6 out of 10 on the actual grading scale from Tyler over here.
That's
That's
out to
it.
a 2.
Well, you average it out, it comes out to a +2. There you go. Thank you all so very much for watching this episode or listening to this episode of the Play With Podcast. It's been a fun one. It's been a great one. We're going over the Game Awards and all like that. It was a great show. Long one, but I hope you all stuck around. Hope you all enjoyed. Check out our site, playtowingames.wordpress.com, home for all of our content. You can read my written God of War Ragnarok review over there on the site. My video review for it, if you don't follow me on Twitter at TylerMello2496, my video review for it is delayed / canceled because the video edit I was doing, it's complete, except a fair chunk of the footage, like some of the clips I was using, are like have a corrupted frame or two. And like because of that, I can't really around it with the clips I have because then I'm getting into spoiler stuff. So I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm going to try and fix it though. If I can fix it, then the video review will come out. If I can't fix it, then there's just not going to be a video review, and I might not be able to do video edits for a while, if at all, because it's either an SD card issue or it's a capture issue, a capture device issue. And if it's the capture device, that's a completely separate issue that I cannot fix right now. If it's the SD card, I bought a new SD card. We will see if it works. And if that works, then I can redo what I need to do, get that edit out, and then do other videos in the future. But that is the state of things right now. That is where we're at. That's also why I didn't play anything this week, because after that issue, I was like so down in the dumps. I was just like, I was just done with everything. I was like, I'm not doing it. So that's that. Check out the written review though. Playtowingames.wordpress.com. Really enjoy that game. Put a lot of work into the review. Hope you all enjoy it. It's a lengthy one, but it's a good one. Check out the site. Check out our Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game for updates on the show. If you followed us on Twitter, you would have known about all of this already. We would have known why there was no video review because it was tweeted about over there. Subscribe on YouTube and podcast services. Hit the notification bell on YouTube and let us know in the comment section what your favorite announcement was from the Game Awards and what you would rate the show. Would you on a 8 of F scale, 1 to 10 scale, whatever scale you want to do? Let us know what you were rated. What was your favorite announcement? What was your least favorite announcement? Let us know that stuff and all that jazz. Tyler, where can people find you?
Good Game We Lost, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. All of there. I'm posting videos again. So go check those out. I'll probably put up some podcast clips this week as well. Didn't really put anything from last week because of spoilers. And just last minute extra credit comment. What is the least horny game you've ever played? If you've listened this far, you're a true degenerate. We appreciate you. Comment below. Just let us know. I'm now it's my homework because I'm going to think about it. But I think Callisto Protocol so far in my head, I don't know, maybe Gears of War. No, that's got some homoeroticness to it. No, so it's definitely not Gears of War. We'll think about it, but just let us know in the comments.
Yes. You can follow me over on Twitter at Tyler2496, like I said already, where I talk about games I'm playing, the games industry, music I'm listening to, anime, shows, movies I'm watching, what have you. I need to catch up on anime. I haven't watched anime in like the past few weeks. I've been watching Evangelion. I've been watching the Genesis Evangelion. Been enjoying it. Shinji's dad is top tier bad dads. Terrible father. Dear Lord. He gives so many other fathers a run for their money. All that said, though, thank you all so very much for watching and for listening. We'll talk with you all next time. Have a great one.
Have a good one, everyone.